Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. I am so pleased to have you all here. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Uh, do not blame the cast for our tardiness, our extreme tardiness. You must only blame me. It is my fault. I broke out of prison. It took me a while to get here. It was not easy to make it all the way because the prison was also back in time. I broke out of Alcatraz, but in 1942, and then I had to get a time machine, but then I did the dials wrong. Anyway, hello.
I thought you just waited.
Oh, I should have done that, huh? Oh, dang it. So that would have made things so much easier. But gosh, wow. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you all and with the best crew that a GM could ever ask for. So let's see. This is the Acronytic Foxhole. We are playing The Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drinax campaign. This is episode 7 out of 11. And hi. Thank you. You can support us in many different ways. We wouldn't be here without you. But the way in which you can support us, the best and most number one way, is by being here, live or on YouTube. All you YouTubers, I'm sorry for not having uploaded those videos yet. You know how it is at that point in time.
And I'm sure that you know YouTubers that were talking to you right now.
Yeah, right. Because right now they're watching me live. Yeah. That's how the internet works, right? No, because it's like a series of tubes. It's like
they're watching 100% of the time, is what I understand.
Yes. Hey, YouTubers.
I just went to the YouTube and not the Twitch channel because that's me.
Yeah,
I fell for it. Haha, you got me.
So thank you all for bearing with. It is that time, isn't it? Although if you're on YouTube, you have no idea what time it is because you don't know I'm saying this. You don't know. Anyway, so thank you everyone who's showing up. Thank you everybody in the chat. And I don't think I actually have a title for last week's episode, so you have to give it to me. And anyhow, you can also support us by reskeeting our Bluesky post. I have not posted on Twitter, and I don't think I will. So, do your thing. You can also, if you like, give us tips and bits, and those tips and bits will go to help pay for my cast because they need it for all the terrible things I do to them. You can be one of our Patreons. That's $3 if you like. And being a Patreon just means that you're supporting us and you're helping pay for the cast. We have a very special and also any kind of special art that we're going to do. Then we have a special Patreon tier, which is $200, which will pay for 4 players for 1 week for one show. And we only have 4 slots. If you are one of our sponsors, you will get a radio ad from me, and you will also get a special spot in the credits, and you will get all of my love and a special shout out. And our shout out goes to Will and TW, who is not only one of our sponsors long term, but also our note taker, without whom I would die. I don't need food. I don't need water. I don't even need oxygen. I need notes. And so without Willen, I just would be dead. That's true facts. And I think that is all of the preamble. And so without further ado, I'm going to, I should say, if you give us tips and bits and leave a message, I will read that out at the end. And I think it's time for me to get my notes where I decide the best ways to make my players miserable for the future. Let's see. I would really love if you could to have each of our players say who they are, who they're playing, and then answer this question. The question would be, I loved the question for last time because that was pretty provocative, but I want a question for this time. Yes, the question for this time is going to be, who is your character's family? That's the question I'm going to ask. And then you might answer that however you think would be appropriate. And we're going to have Ari go last. We're going to start with Rocket Fox. Rocket, who are you? Who are you playing? And who is your character's family? And I say that question in a vague way, so you may answer how you wish.
Perfect. Hello, it's me, Rocket Fox, your second favorite person. And yeah, who the family of the Harlock is. So at one point, I like how the notes are already being taken
Look, I just need
very
to know who's going to be
rigorously.
murdered. Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
hey, joke's on you. Her aunt's already dead. So
I'm going to
uh,
get a good face claim for your aunt, by the way, and put it in the slides. Just, I'll get there.
yeah. But yeah, so her aunt would have been family before she passed. Her father, last she heard, is still pretty unwell, but I think she would say he's family. I mean, it was a very well in growing up in the way that she did, in the particular noble stylings. It was family, but not like how some families might be nice and close and have family moments together. It's more of a kind of hierarchical system
Mm.
for her.
Mm.
And aside from that, though, the only other possible family that maybe she might or might not have would potentially be the fact that she did have a child at one point that got whisked away somewhere.
Mm. Mm. What about your cousin?
Yeah, I mean,
The one who's engaged to Terrica?
so
Did you tell
so
Terrica that? You didn't, though, did you? Terrica doesn't know that.
so the cousin in question, like
Terrica
family
doesn't, I think.
by name, for sure. But like also, as far as Zidani are concerned, the cousin's not particularly doesn't have a lot of skills. And the Harlock isn't like it's not. She's not completely a bitch, but kind of like Um, so they would have been much closer when they were younger, but like as soon as she started training and stuff, she kind of got separated from a lot of people that I think she in another circumstance would have considered family. But during the process of training, there's a lot of weeding that out of you, so you don't have a lot of strong connections to anyone. So she's very kind of specific in who she would consider family, in that she would really consider as few people family as possible.
Interesting. Also, I really like how kind and affirming you are to your cousin. I'm sure
Not everyone got the psionic
it's true.
gifts. That's not. No one's to blame for that.
Yeah. Now, he
But
does have some psionics. It's just that he's not.
it's kind of like how most children can walk.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that level of thing.
Yeah. Oh, love it. So who is next? I think when we think about family, we should go next to. Ooh. Everybody else here has got so much family. Let's go with Greg. Greg, who are you? Who you're playing? And then who does Val consider family?
Hi, everybody. My name's Greg. I play Dr. Valentine Val Morrissey. I'm Warp Reactor over on YouTube. Who does Val consider his family? Nobody. Move on.
Is that true?
I think.
Maybe.
Because here's why. No, let me explain. Because it sounds, why didn't the people in the Gambler consider? Why isn't Terrica, family?
Yeah, how dare you? What the hell?
Family to Val is a bad word.
Yeah.
Ever since the death of his mom.
Yeah.
So, ergo, no one is considered family. He wouldn't want to put them in that terrible pigeonhole.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. We are going to get him therapy at some point in time. Speaking of people who might need therapy, not them, but their character, Lindy, Laugh, Love, Variety. Who are you? Who are you playing? And then who is your character's family?
Hi, I'm Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, and I am gonna be playing Quint Vesper. just a normal person. Ex Soleimani spy, ex Cirque du
Mm,
Soleimani, ex Imperial Scout,
mm.
which was a cover. It's all fine. It's fine. Now I'm who knows what on Drinax. And who's their family?
Yeah,
That's a tricky question.
yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm,
because if he has blood relatives, they either didn't
mm-hmm,
want her
mm-hmm,
or didn't know about
mm-hmm,
them,
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
didn't really grow up with a family. But the closest
mm-hmm.
thing that they got to family was she had a really good relationship with the mysterious Emerald, or Emma
Yep.
for short. But then she's dead. So now we've gone from having zero family to basically kind of one family back down to zero. Um,
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that's Quint's family history right there.
I love that. I think that's great. So
Went from
thinking of
question
people who
mark
question
to
mark? Yeah.
yeah, 1 to
Speaking of
0.
characters, with great families. I would like to head on over to the dearest chord mythomatic. Who are you? Who are you playing? And then, who is Severance's family?
Well, well, well. Hi, everybody. It's me, Cord, or Mythomatic. I haven't really been streaming a lot lately, but at some point I will. I promise. I'm just really busy because, thanks to Noah Khan, my entire Vermont locale is super busy with tourists. So I've been bartending this entire summer and more. So, anyway, I've been busy. It's been great, except for the fact that I haven't been able to do anything I want. So, I'll be streaming again soon. Anyway, I'm playing Baron Severance, and he is a bit of a renegade. He's a renegade clone of a imperial duke, but he also has had his own life.
Not a duke, though.
He
He was a baron, I believe.
Baron,
I don't
excuse
think
me.
I don't think Marymore was a duke, because that's a pretty big title, and he just wasn't as important as he would have liked.
Willen, what's the word? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Willem will know.
Willen will know. Baron, Duke, it's all the same to me because they're just titles to me. But I'm sure there are actual titles that mean some sort of hierarchical thing that I don't know. But anyway, so it's a higher up noble guy in the Imperium
Yeah.
that my character is a clone of, but he was also like stashed away on Drinax, so he grew
Mm-hmm,
up amongst the Drinaxian people.
mm-hmm,
Drinax being this apocalyptic, like post warp apocalypse of a planet, um, where he sort of had to grow up. That being said, who is his family? It's really hard for Baron Severance. I think he's constantly trying to find what family is,
mm-hmm.
considering he's always trying to find his identity of who he
Yeah.
is. And I think once he finds out who his family is, I think he'll find out who he is. And I
Mm,
think, and not necessarily the other way around, which you think it probably would be, but I think for him, he needs to be. He has jumped from like community to community. He's
mm-hmm.
been a drifter. He tried to be a freelance or a freelance. No,
A far trader.
a fart trader. That's the word. You try to be a fart trader, which is not a fart raider, but a fart trader. And he, it's they're two different jobs. One pays well, and I guess you can guess which one's which. One pays better and has better hours, but that one's the second one. So he is looking for the right community to call his family, where he can then be his self, be
Yeah.
himself. And I think we are seeing it more and more as time's going
Mm-hmm,
on, where he is starting to be more comfortable with the people he's
mm-hmm,
with the crew.
mm-hmm.
Um, he's been super loyal to Drinax the whole time, but he's
Yeah.
becoming more and more loyal to his crew. It seems like there has been his core has been Drinax this whole time, but now things are shifting, and um, or like I guess the bones were Drinax, but now the meat and the flesh that is being put on top is and that is being sculpted is the people and the community he is with. And I'm mainly talking about the crew. But I can admit that as much as I want, but I don't think he would. I don't think
Mm,
Baron would ever be like, this is my family. I think he would just be like, this is my crew. That's what we do.
mm,
He is proud. He is kind of a slimy shit, and he doesn't like to fight, and he probably would throw everybody under the bus if he needed to. So I think he's still. I mean, take that how you will.
Yes. Possible. Um,
It may happen.
it may happen, but he hasn't so far. That's all. Our last member of our crew is Ari. Ari, who are you? Who are you playing? And who does your character think of as family? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I can't hear you. What? No, 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 there's something wrong. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Could you say that louder? Oh. Ha 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 ha. Ari has lost their voice and is not allowed to speak.
Not allowed.
They will be in trouble if they do. So we have we've made a little bit of a text thing for them. Uh, so
It's so cool.
yeah, playing Terica, and I'm gonna make it better later. But who does Ari? Who is their family? So, they've historically said they are just a pilot, and more recently felt so adrift that they did not even use the title pilot. But in the last episode, we saw them use all of their titles to sign off on an email: pilot, envoy, liege. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Who is their family? Um, I'm giving you some that might have just been a little bit in there. Who is their family? Also, I've cropped too aggressively. Don't worry about it. Uh, Val. First person they wrote down, Val, Wesley. Their Avasa crew, who are all enslaved right now and or dead. The Gambler crew. They have some extended family on Lady Hill's side who have all died, either fighting for a seam, like their Uncle Tarak, or of old age, Grand Lady Hill and Grand Lord Hill. They have some extended family on Lord Hill's side that I think they haven't connected with since they were 16. They probably saw Lord Hill's family more often before 16 when Lady Hill began taking over their life. And by the way, I do have images for that entire, all of those siblings and the currently living matriarch of that family. I do have all of them. I just need to filter them and then make them, then I'll put them up on the slides. But I've got all their names, I've got all their images, they're all there. Also, I have a image of Uncle Tarek as well. So I'm just saying those things are ready for you all when the time comes, and we will be seeing Ari via text today so that they can participate. So, thank you, and I'm troopersjp, and I'll be your instigator, I guess, pot stirrer. When last, let us pull back the curtains. When last we left, our crew, all of them, went down to the surface of the planet, this planet that has been blasted and is irradiated and where very little life exists. They went down there, called by being. They also went down there to try to save Sue, who was corporeal and could not stop being corporeal. And this crew went down to the surface of the planet. They found the one living tree with a small pond, and the being that is the planet, or that now resides within the planet. It's complicated. When a being crash lands into a planet and then just starts growing, like the roots, takes over the whole thing. But opened up a passage. They took this passage. If it had not been for the Harlock reaching out and doing some diplomacy, there probably would have been a lot more traps along the way, but that did not happen. They traveled many, many hours, at least like 8 hours of walking to get into the secret heart chamber of this being, which is a gemstone, but it is actually alive. It is this core of this planet. And this being which does not have a mouth or hands, but is, a big rock, spoke through Terica to speak what was happening. They learned some things. They learned that this being is one of a number of beings that long time in the past, as sort of meteors flew throughout space, crash landed on planets, and then slowly but surely fed off of those living things and then fed back to those living things, growing themselves, right, until all sorts of like civilizations are able to sort of grow and change and shape. They learned about the ways in which this being is also helps air, water, atmosphere, right, just life in general. But that in order to live, they must gain the energy, the dreams, the thoughts of the people, but that must be filtered by some sort of conduit, or most likely lots of conduits, who are able to filter the sort of the diffused energy and thoughts of the populace through some sort of symbolic piece of viridian, which this being is made of, which actually is still connected to them, into the being, and then vice versa. And so that there are these conduits who, whether they know it or not, are the sort of are symbolic figures that are thought of, and that they help keep themselves, everybody else alive, I guess. And we learned that there are these sort of figures. We learned that Drinax has been quite ill, that being, because the entire Trojan Reach has been bombed to all get out with lots of chemical and biological warfare, killing billions and billions and trillions of people and leaving everything pretty bad. But the Vespexers, the people living on the planet, were giving life to this being, and Severance was somebody really important to this being for giving, right, the life to this planet. You didn't really see it, but also Asim, now being under Drinax, is now also giving energy to Drinax, which Drinax can then use to grow, get healthy, and sort of give back. So there's a whole sort of circle of life, very hippie sort of thing going on there. We also learned that, all the little pieces of itself that it gives to let other people, do this work, it still feels through all those pieces and is sort of like aware through those pieces. And it sort of shared how Mary Moore was taking chunks of its body and then torturing people and like shoving energy into it and then pulling it out in a way that's very, very torturous and painful and awful. And also that Val was doing that recently, and that the being didn't understand why, because Val helped save the being, or pieces of the being, and didn't understand what was happening. So we sort of learned about the ways in which the Harlock and Val saved little pieces of this, right? The being's relationship. We learned some about Terra, about the Viridian being that is in Terra, that it and this being, they knew each other, and that they actually were able to relay and help Quint, their one family member, the mysterious Emerald, sort of go back into the cycle of life. But we also learned that Quint has been a conduit for Viridian, as the quintessential Viridian, this sort of iconic and sort of iconic performer in the Cirque du Soleil, who is more of a symbol than a person in many ways, that they have helped countless people return back to energy and come back from energy, and that Quint, who never thought they did anything at all that mattered, besides perhaps perform, they realized that they were part of something really astounding and important, something very important. And Val was quite concerned about what looked like some strange being possessing Terrica, who was very important to them. And so in hopes of trying to maybe like break this possession, shot the gemstone, which caused Terrica to be injured. And then everybody was freaking out. There's like violence. Everybody's like, what's happening? And in the process, the Harlock restrained Val psionically. Quint severed the cord that was keeping Sue corporeal, and then Sue basically sort of whiplashed back into Val's consciousness. Val went out like a light, and then the suit took off, following its emergency protocol to head back to the Gambler, which is up in the floating palace. This done, everybody quite stressed, distraught, upset, unknown what's happening. The Viridian being that is Drinax gave up quite a large chunk of Viridian, quite large actually, gave it up to Severance with the vision that this could be used, could be built into the Gambler, and that the Gambler could then be the equivalent of the brooch, could be something that could help Severance become a conduit, a symbol that channels energy all throughout the Trojan reaches back to the being. And our Tagonists are walking out, the long walk out with this Viridian. And the small little seed of Viridian, of the Drinaxian Viridian being, was put back into its home, as it should be. There are all sorts of visions and memories, and this is this place. And with that, at this moment, with the crew reeling from the things they've seen, with Val missing and lost, who knows if he made it back to the Gambler or if he didn't, this is where we will pick back up with our crew making their way out of the long passage back out to the surface of Drinax. As you are walking, my friends, is there anything that people are saying as you are carrying your burdens?
I would just like to point out that I believe, if memory serves, Quinn is also carrying Severance piggyback style.
I believe that is the case.
Along with the crystal.
Yes, yes.
That's strong.
I believe strong. I mean, you've got good core. Good core. You have to have a good core.
I work out regularly, and I have a
Yeah.
strong ass robot arm for the
Yeah.
Viridian.
All those things are true. So you are walking. You're heading back out. It's been a while of the walk, and I will hand it over to you all as you walk. I do not want to rush you.
Yeah, I don't think the Harlock would really be saying too much.
Mm-hmm. The rest of y'all, just asking.
Am I passed out?
No, but you are being carried.
I'm being
Piggyback.
carried.
Just for
Just
fun.
Yoda in a
Because your
pursuit.
feet kept getting tired, so
Of course.
imagine it was like 30 minutes of you walking, 45 minutes of me piggybacking you, 30 minutes of you walking, 45 minutes of me piggybacking
I have a
you.
chunk of Iridium.
It's real big. I think a
real
bunch
big.
of us are helping to carry it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm gonna cast Tensor's floating disc, and I'm gonna have that hold it. Is that okay?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you could do that, but
Yeah.
all right, I guess.
I'll do that.
Which I imagine would be
I'll
over
hold on
halfway
that.
through, and then the rest of us are like, okay, that was a choice that could have been made sooner, but
Yeah,
that's
How did you
fine.
do that?
Severance, you can imagine this as being like a fairly long and thin chunk of radiance. It's pretty
Okay.
like at least 6 to 10 feet long,
Okay.
right? That
It's like
that
what,
you
like
could,
a couple 100 pounds.
yeah, and you could build it into the ship, which would then make the ship an amplifier, right, for you as the admiral. And
Cool.
and Drinax gave up this piece of itself to you as a gift for your relationship, I guess is the best
Almost
way
like
to
it
put it.
gave me a seed, right? Like a seed, for, like not to be weird, but like Fern Gully type, where it's
Yeah, except it's not a seed. Oh, I suppose I didn't say the one thing that you all learned that I don't think that
I know it's not a seed, but I mean like
Greg knows. But I'm
tree
bringing it
and
because
stuff.
that is relevant. Like it might be big enough that I suppose it could be, but it's not really a seed. It's really meant to be like this sort of like a root, I suppose, right? It's like this important sort of
Okay.
connection for you. Um,
Sure.
because there are seeds, as it turns out, you learn how these beings, uh, how these beings are born, how they multiply, how they propagate, how they,
These beings
reproduce.
being beings the
Yes,
planet core
yes,
alien things.
yes.
That's
The planet
cool.
core alien thing.
Cool. Like
What
it.
they will
All right.
do is they will bring forth a chunk of themselves that is large enough. It has to be quite large, uh, and they will like eject that into space as a meteor. And that thing that is large enough will have a seed, and that seed will then fly through space, try to find a good planet that it can live on, crash land into that planet, bury deep into the planet, and then start growing as
Got
the
it.
life feeds
Parasite.
it. Symbiote, let's say,
Excuse me.
because
Symbiote.
parasite seems so judgy. Um,
All right.
symbiote, right? So, but like, so,
Yeah.
but
Whatever.
yeah. But we also learn. So that's how it, like, a big enough chunk of it can be used as a seed, and that seed will go off and like bury into a planet and grow.
Cool.
We also learned, surprise, surprise, that Drinax is a bit concerned about Val for multiple reasons, but one of them is that Val is now a seed, right? That Val swallowed a seed, and it is now growing in him. Whenever he feeds death, right, it sort of grows, and
Mhm.
that means that he could become the core of a planet, a core of one of these beings, uh, sort of an artificially made being. He would need to be planted, but also his body's not that big, and it could be quite bad for him if that seed grows. There is a bit of a danger in that he's, well, yeah. So, you know, that's a thing to worry about, I guess, or maybe later. Um, yeah, uh, yeah. Anything you uh, were thinking of as you are wandering? Oh, that's true. That's true. Cord said anything.
Looks like Terika would be doing something.
Would be quiet,
Yeah.
but probably after a bit they would try to contact Val psionically. Although, as they note, not not probably, definitely. So, um, you can try to roll. By the way, yeah, you can try to roll your psionics. That would be telepathy. Um, just want to give you a thought. Just a quick thought before you roll it. Oh, you did. You rolled. Rolled a 5. That is great. So the thing about that is that psionics have a range. You know, um, a range, and for telepathy, mind link, which is the one that you would use for a person who is also psionically gifted, that range is distant. So you can go up to 5 kilometers. If Val is more than 5 kilometers away or not conscious, then you would not be able to reach him. You can push it by increasing the difficulty by 1 step, and actually, but you have to pay more energy to increase the range that you have. So you could spend a whole lot of your psionic points to try to reach more distance. Um, so it's 1 point, one psionic point, just generally for that kilometers. If you wanted to push it to the next range band, which is 500 kilometers, that would cost you 2. Or you could make it continental, which would be 5,000 kilometers, which would cost you 4, but that still would not be planetary. So I don't know. How much do you want to, how much of your soul would you like to give to power this? Would be my question. 4. The full 4. Okay. I see. Interesting. Interesting. Spend those psionic points, why don't you? You don't need luck. Because it's not the roll is fairly simple to make. It's just how much are you willing to spend of yourself in order to have this happen. So you don't need to spend luck at all. It's just an easy check. It's just do you have the range.
Doesn't sound easy.
So, Val, you only can spend 4. That's the max you can spend. Val, how are you right now? I'd like to have a conversation with you if you don't mind.
Sure. I can't stop you.
I know. Oh, but I should
Use my
ask,
luck
this
to
actually
stop you.
is quite important.
King Cord
Terica,
uses luck to stop you.
maybe.
I need to answer that question.
I need to know how long it is after Val zooms out that Terica tries to make this connection. How long Terica waits will matter in this conversation to answer the question of what happens next. Let me know how long you would wait before you tried to contact.
Me?
No, Terica. I need to know from Terica.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Probably right about this time they start leaving the room. Ah, yes. Okay. If it's right about the time you start leaving the room, please take all but 1 of your psionic points back. You get no response. There is no mind that you can access. Last time you saw Val, Val was unconscious, and unconscious people. Terica's going to keep trying. How often will Terica? How often is what I would like to know. Because, this will matter. Until they get an answer. I'm looking for the frequency of trying. Will you try every minute, every half hour, every hour? They know Val is passed out. This is true. And they know suit protocols. This is also true. Probably every 15 minutes. Okay? So, let's start. Please take every 15 minutes. How much psionic power do you have? How many psionic points do you have at this moment? How long can you go before you no longer have psionic points and you have to start making other choices? If it's 1 at a time, how many do you have? An hour, and so less than 2 hours. Great. You all are walking. This is about an 8-hour walk. 7 to 8 hours. And you walk. Terica is concentrating. Trying clearly, for those of you psionically gifted, trying to reach out to Val, presumably. So, At about the 2-hour mark, you are out of psionic power. What would you like to do? Where would you like to draw it from? Would you like to draw from your own physical body and start harming yourself? How far would you go for Val? We know that Terica gets more worried each time it fails. Okay. After about 2 hours of walking, those of you who are not Terica, can I get a recon roll? Intelligence-based.
Recon.
Yes, please.
Would I be able to perhaps tell something based on the fact that I will have likely seen something like this before?
You could, the Harlock, you may roll with a boon.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have a 10 from Quint.
Shockingly.
14 from the Harlock. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What kind of recon?
Intelligence, if you would.
I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All of you have rolled far enough. Your roll is quite good. And I will tell you the Harlock a little bit more. All of you see sort of blood trickling out of Terica's nose as they're concentrating. The Harlock, you know exactly what's happening right now. Terica is unraveling their physical being in order to try to fuel psionics. They're out. You know they're tapped, but they're not stopping whatever it is they're doing, and they're beginning to just rend their body from the inside out in order to fuel their psionics. And if they keep doing this, they will kill themselves. Well, if they're lucky, they'll just pass out first. But I believe Terica is already a little bit injured. So
Y'all know this, or is that information all towards?
So
well, you all see, all of
see
you
it,
see,
But the Harlock knows the information.
Yeah, the Harlock knows that this is about psionic overclocking themselves psionically.
Also,
But you
the
all
Harlock
see that they're
just took some of that damage away. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We're about to
Yes.
have words.
Yes.
So I think whenever that, and what order are we in? Like,
Ooh, what's the marching order, everybody, on the way out?
Great.
I feel like Terica would probably be in the rush to find Val would be kind of toward the front. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
And then
I was in the back last time because we were
Yeah.
worried about dangers from the back, but now that we're pretty confident there's no dangers behind, I'll probably be, unless the Harlock wants to be in front of me, I'll be behind Terica.
I don't think it really
I can't control Quinn's token to put them in a place
here.
where it could visually be in a line.
Put them on the line.
So are we all still holding the Viridian piece?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
Like one big casket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like one long pipe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. One girthy pipe.
I think too at a certain point, the Harlock, if standing in the back, kind of would peek up and see this happening, and would just let go of everyone else would be like, you know, feeling that. And then would just like let go and stride up, and then get right into Terica's face. You, what are you doing? And partially in part because typing, but also I think before they're able to really get anything out to the Harlock would be, stop what you're doing right now. Stop it. Terica says nothing, doing nothing.
No. When I say no.
Then responding that Vel might be hurt, the Harlock And so do you think this is going to help? Killing yourself to try and get in touch with him? Do you think that's going to help? Do you think he's going to enjoy this? Do you have any idea why he shot the Viridian back in there? Because he saw you get hurt. He thought you were possessed. We can't all keep behaving like children. Psionics is not a game. I understand that all of you have had your experiences with it, and that's fine, but you have yet to see the damage that can come from it.
Erica says, so help me then.
We all know that Val is passed out. There is nothing we can do to get in touch with him now. You saw it. We all saw it. You know the protocol. And then would put a hand on the shoulder and slightly soften. We'll get back and deal with it then. There's nothing we can do from here. And you being passed out is not going to help. You killing yourself is not going to help. Do you understand? Then would kind of circle back and then kind of lift the thing back up again. Let's go.
I heft up Severance and the pipe.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I should be helping.
Harlock is just shaking her head.
I want to
Shaking her head.
I'm feeling a touch guilty. Just put me down. I want to help carry this thing.
All right, here we go.
As I
Just a
wiggle
touch
free
guilty.
and
I'll as soon as you were
Right.
like, I'm done with the
like
pig.
not well,
That's fine.
like just like being like, ooh, that's enough. That's heavy enough. You know, just like walking next to it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just like
like
that's
hand
your
on
hand
it, touching.
Yeah, right. And it's not
Making sure it doesn't bump into any walls or anything
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
probably more. I would just shot more guiding it than I am actually carrying it.
And it's so much easier to carry now that I'm not also carrying Severance, so
Mhm.
it does lighten up.
Quint's
actually.
like, oh!
Like, oh!
Good, because that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping
Yeah.
that you'd carry more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be a couple of hours, I imagine. A bit of time. You still have a couple of hours to walk. Val. You come too. I don't know if you open your eyes or not yet, but you come to consciousness. You're lying down. That's the first thing you notice, that you're lying down. You're in your suit. You're lying down. What do you do? Do you look? What do you do? The moment you're all armored up.
How much does he remember? I'm assuming everything, but I don't.
Everything.
Okay.
Well,
he checks to see
what you
where he
remember
is.
is that the last thing you remember is there was a snap, and all of a sudden there was this rush as you saw Sue dematerialize, so no longer in danger, and then like shift back into your suit. But you know that there's a kind of a complicated relationship between the two of you, and that somewhat they are also you, but also a different being. But that sort of rejoining of you two, like a piece of you was missing, right, for some time. And that rejoining sort of basically knocked you out. And that's the last thing you remember.
Well, he knows what he wants to do, but first he has to find out where he is. So he's going to, key up all the exterior environmental sensors of the suit. They should be on anyway, just in case they aren't. And then he'll look around.
You look around. Do you sit up?
I would assume, yeah.
I don't know. You might play dead. I have no idea what you're going to do. I don't want to.
No, he would absolutely sit up. He has no reason to think that he should be playing dead, so.
You sit up. And that's when you hear sounds. You are in a room. It looks more like a vault. There are no windows. Looks like a big metal vault of some sort. You cannot tell, but looks thick. You seem to be laying on a cot. In this place, there are sort of like big, heavy vault doors. They look sort of old, actually. There are electronics in this room. They look like alarms, Geiger counters. They look like Geiger counters. They look like there's like constant monitoring of like what the air is like, what the radiation is like. The vault door, which you could think maybe is locking you in, is ajar, so you are not a prisoner wherever you are. But you're in this place, and the room itself is full of cans, crates. It's kind of like storage. There are little lights here, but you are somewhere. It seems to you that it has been about 4 hours since you were last online, since you were last awake.
He is going to. I'm assuming the suit's got the appropriate amount of power as far as
Yes.
for wear time and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
Sue.
There's like a little break, and then your little holographic Sue shows up. But it's June and not Ruby. And the holographic Sue says, "Well, I was worried about you. Good to see you're awake. How are you?"
I'm good, Sue. Where are we?
"Well, I was trying to get you home. But the some sort of electrical storm was quite. Atmosphere around here is not so good. We ran into something that knocked me out a little bit. Next thing I know, we were being picked up in a large sort of walker, and we were being carried out by people in suits. I didn't want to
How
say
many?
anything. I didn't. Oh, there was about 4. Brought us into one of these big walkers, took us into a strange, ruined place. They took us down into some sort of, it's like some kind of underground city of some sort. Seems to be some kind of community. They try to see if you'd wake up. I didn't think you'd want me to say anything. At least I wanted to check in with you first. I was a bit worried about you. But they've left us here. They didn't try to get into the suit or anything like this. But how are you?"
I'm all right, Sue. You didn't talk to him though.
"No, I thought I should wait for you to wake up. They come and check in on you. They've done that a few times."
You think there's about 4 of them?
Well, there was only 4 that picked us up. This is an entire community of people. I've seen quite a few life forms out and
Couple
about.
dozen, couple hundred? How what are we
Oh,
looking at?
probably a couple thousand, maybe 2,000, 3. Seems a somewhat large community for this place. The underground seems somewhat extensive.
Sue, I'm gonna need you to rewrite the emergency protocol. If something happens where I lose consciousness again, get us away from wherever we are, but we can't go to the gambler if it's gonna take us out like that.
Well, I think normally it might not have, but the atmospheric conditions down here on the surface are quite dangerous. Um, I would say that any sort of individual flying, as we were doing together, uh, Valentine, would be quite precarious. It was all right for a bit, but then one of these storms sort of whipped up. I imagine it would be quite dangerous to be flying out and about like this, in this sort of place.
All right. Um, let's go offer some thanks, I guess.
All right, so I just wanted to, are you all right?
I'm fine for now, thank you.
My memory's a little bit fuzzy at times. I feel like as if I have memories I don't remember, but I feel a bit older than I am at the moment. Or at least than my memories say. But I remember you hugged me.
That's right.
I've missed you.
So we need to figure out where we are. I
Of course.
want to have this discussion, but I can't do it right now.
It's all right. It's all right, Valentine. I'm here.
All right.
And the little hologram just like dematerializes back into your hand computer self. And you just hear, and here's the thing, it doesn't sound like it's coming from the comms, it sounds like it's coming from inside of your body. Just remember, you've always been my Valentine.
He just puts in his mind a picture of the cave they used to go to where they would hide and read and play when he was little. And a little bit of him stays there, but the rest of him opens the vault door.
When you do that, do you give any psionic power to that memory?
No, this is just
Asking.
remembrance. Yeah.
Well, but memories can be powerful at times. Just wondering.
I think Val's learned his immediate lesson.
Mm. You step out. The vault, when you get to the vault door, it's actually very thick. It's like a foot thick, metal. And when you step out, there's like a bit of a corridor and sort of more rooms, and you see a figure in, they're clearly wearing a suit, actually, that kind of looks a bit like the suit that Severance wore, in that it was, looks a bit cobbled together. Some sort of hazard suit, but they have their helmet off. It seems as if this place is probably safe in terms of their ability to breathe. And the person you're seeing is like a pale, um, pale person. They're a person who's got melanin in their skin, but clearly they've not seen the sun for quite some time. And they've got like sort of dreadlocks. They've got a rifle that is slung. They're not wielding it. They're leaning up against the wall of this sort of big vault, and they are sort of eating paste, some sort of paste. And they notice you because the suit is quite noticeable. They look up. Oh, it's Icarus. Are you all right? And the person does not actually look that old, but they sound like perhaps they've had damage, right, to their lungs, to their vocal cords. It's a harsh environment.
I am. Who should I thank for bringing me in out of the cold?
Well, it's. I assume you come from the palace. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Oh.
I am not from the palace.
Oh.
I'm there, but I'm not one of them.
Oh, I see. She walks up to you. She puts out her hand. Then she stops and she like takes off. She like undoes the arm, the glove, so it's her flesh, and she holds out her hand. My name is Medea. I'm a Vespexer. Um, we saw you crash. Thought you might need help.
You were right, Medea. I appreciate it. He would reach forward with his hand, and the metal would splinter away from the back, almost like a second hand rises off the
Mm,
back of his flesh, and it
hmm
just kind of peels off and up and exposes his hand, so to speak. I'm assuming not green right now.
Not right now. Nope. Oh,
And he would
and she
shake
shakes
her
it.
hand.
That is that is some technology. You must be from up there. Um, our chieftain is up there right now, Chieftain Gaux. Um, I did not think actually that the palace was right overhead. It's not scheduled to be near us anytime soon. Um, would you like something to eat?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, but I have a debt. Do
Oh,
you have injured among you?
oh, yes. Um, I don't think you can help us though.
Well, I'd like
Sort
to
of.
maybe see.
All right. Um, would you like us to radio up to the palace to let them know that we have you? We have a.
Absolutely not.
Oh, all right. We have a communications array. It's not the best, but we can reach the palace. Well,
Well,
if
maybe you could do me another favor.
of course.
Could you radio up to the palace to say that you saw a being in a combat suit fly into one of the clouds and break apart?
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Just a little white lie.
Everybody runs, I suppose. If you'll come, I can show you. We have a lot of radiation sickness. Um, we don't always get uh, food as regularly as we'd like. Um, we trade with the palace, but every once in a while there are famines and nobody has enough food. It's been better. And, well, we have some injuries. People who are
Take
old, young.
take me to them. Bring everybody.
Huh,
If you have anybody that's with a child, or
we do.
bring them.
What is your name?
Just call me the doctor.
Doctor. All right. Come on now, the doctor. Doctor, sorry, Doctor who? No, no last name?
I think that person broke up in the cloud that you saw.
Hmm. All right, the doctor. Um, come with me. We have a. This is one of the bigger communities here on the surface. This one's pretty safe from the voles, um, the fungal voles, and the other creatures out there that have grown. They usually cannot get through here. Come on, I'll show you our community. Do you know do you know Chieftain Gaux? Have you
I'm,
met her?
I'm afraid I have not.
Oh. Well, have you met Baron Severance? He's one of our own as well. He's up there in the palace. We have 3 or 4 of us who've been up there, who've seen the place. Most of us don't, trading here or there. But one of our own went up to the university up there, studied. He's doing a great thing, doing some sort of great. And as she's saying these things, she's taking you through like this kind of slightly labyrinthine sort of maze-like warren, right? And it looks to you like this was probably some sort of like nuclear shelter from probably quite some time ago, a very quite some time ago, that they have moved into, and as you're moving through, you can see that there's like there are people here who are living. Some people have clearly been wounded, injured, but long past. Um, People there are somewhat um, little underfed. Um, you see that there are clearly like alarm lights everywhere, right? Like they're not flashing, but if something happened, if there were a breach or if something happened, those things would go. Like you can tell this is very much a place just in case. And you can see people like some families, some people sort of cleaning their rifles, some people playing cards, just having sorts of life. And she's taking you as she's speaking deeper into this place until she's going to take you to sort of an infirmary where there are at least like 20 to 30 people who seem to have various sorts of illnesses. And those are just the people who are here in the infirmary. From a quick glance, you're looking at probably like fevers, flus, radiation sickness. Somebody probably like, probably coming from tears in their suits. If you get a tear in the suit, not gonna be great. Not enough to kill you right away, but enough to make it really painful, um, difficult. Um, some broken arm here or there. Somebody with like somebody there who's been like wrapped up with like a gouge. Something big must have bit them. But there's like there are bunches of people here who are surviving. Yeah, all
Trooper, I
sorts
have
of
a
people.
question. I just don't know the answer to this or even if it's
Mm,
feasible, but I have 20 doses of that rad away.
yes,
I don't know what it's called
yes,
for.
yeah,
And I know that
hmm
it causes almost immediate healing
yes,
of radiation sickness.
yes,
Here's what I'm proposing, and I don't know.
yes,
Again, this is not me trying to work around the rules, but
yeah, mm,
if he were to split one of those doses up, knowing that it wouldn't cause immediate healing, but
yeah,
might take like a week,
yeah,
or
yeah.
could he make those 20 into 30 or
More?
40 or something?
You'd have to give me a medical roll.
I can try. Sure, I can absolutely do
Uh,
that. Now he wouldn't do it if he thought that this could ruin
yeah,
something. You know what I
they've
mean?
got
Like he
like this infirmary's got some stuff. It's got like some gear, so you could like use this gear to see if you can try to separate the materials. You know what I mean? Like you've got some. If you were just by yourself, I would say no. But you've got it. You're in an infirmary. You might be able to do so, but you'd have to roll to see if you could how well you can do it.
absolutely. So you want like a medical roll for this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. Intelligence.
Or education, either one.
Okay. No boons or anything like that. I do get. Well, let me ask you: do I get my bonus from Sue?
Hmm.
I get my bonus from my
Sue,
hand computer, but I don't know if I get my
yes.
bonus from Sue.
Um, Medicine, correct?
This is medicine intelligence, yeah. So
May I
I
ask you a
don't know what
question?
Sue can do anymore, to be honest.
That is true. You don't. Let me ask you a question. Um, how when you were injured as a child, who helped you?
June would, obviously, because I mean, the
Then yes,
person
you
that
get
did
your
the injuring
bonus.
was. Oh, okay. Excellent.
Hmm
14.
14, my friend. That's an extraordinary success. Yes. You'll be able to basically split this in half and get 40 doses out of this. It'll take you a little bit of time, right, to sort of basically make the suspensions and make it work. But yes, you
Right.
can do that.
And to be very clear, he does not come into this space and take over. The
Mhm,
very first thing he does is say, who is your doctor? Who is your medic? Who is your whose
mhm,
space is this? Who's in charge?
mhm,
And then
mhm.
he will work shoulder to shoulder with them.
Yeah,
He will ask for each of the, reagents or
yeah,
whatever it is that he's
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
like. So he does not want to make it like he's occupying this
yeah,
space. He knows what it's
yeah,
like. This is,
yeah.
you know, yeah, he doesn't have his own med bay,
Lab.
but
Yeah,
this is obviously an infirmary, so he doesn't
yeah,
want to step on anybody's toes.
yeah. Uh, and what you can see is that these are people who have a very hard life. This is not a great place to live. Um, there are bodies of people who have died asphyxiated, like lack of oxygen, when things have failed. There are a couple of people who are with child and getting close as you're assessing. And it's at that point in time, you hear a ping on your comms. And June says, "Oh, Valentine, there's a call coming in."
Ignore it.
Mm, says, "Are you safe?" It's from,
Ignore it.
oh, it's from that Terica you told me about. They're
So
very nice.
do not answer it. Do not make it look like you've read it. Just leave it hang.
All right. If you're sure.
I am positive.
Wasn't that the one you were thinking about asking to dance?
Sue, do you remember back on the seam, all those fields we had without anybody in them?
Yes. Beautiful.
Oh, not you, Siri.
Who is that? Are you cheating on me with some other sort of
I know
AI
it's
friend?
not how you think. It's
I
just a
see how-
friend, a
I
study
can't believe
partner.
this. Oh well, my goodness.
I just met him going down the hall.
Oh well, you were saying.
These are my underwear. No. Medea. He is going to, I'm assuming, again, he's going to work for a couple hours. But just to help you, the amount of time it would take everybody to walk back out, 7 or 8 hours, he's going to walk. He's going to work.
Perfect.
Again, he's not going to leave anybody that's in a lurch. He's going to help everybody that he has enough equipment to help, and then probably more, to triage people or do whatever he can. Throughout that time, though, he wants to start asking Medea questions about how much, do you all like this place? I don't mean to intrude or step on toes or cast my own judgments, but
I will note that while you're doing this, right, there are people who they don't have a lot of medics, is what I'm going to tell you, right? Like they have somebody who's there, but the resources are quite slim in this place is the best way to put it, right? It's not like they have multiple medics. They've got a doctor who does not have your training, but who's much older, who clearly just has a lot of life experience. And then I suppose the equivalent of like first aid folks. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got maybe a couple of first aid folks. Looks like a lot of them know how to do first aid. Looks like a lot of them know how to do basic sorts of first aid if there's big trouble. But they have a much, much older man who is their equivalent of a doctor, although clearly not studied in the same way that you have, but knows enough. They do, however, it's a kind of a funny thing about them, right? They don't look like they have a lot of food, but they don't look deficient in vitamins, right? There's a way in which they don't look like they had enough calories, but they seem there's a certain healthiness to them. Just if they've been able to avoid the radiation and the fungal voles and the treachery of this place. And I'm going to just, as you begin to ask these questions, we'll come back to that. Crew marching out, no pings at all from the comms, none.
It's been 4 hours.
It's been probably 5. You're getting close to the exit.
Okay.
And Tarek is walking faster and faster. And once you'll have to get out from underground because, signals.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then as you make your way out of this passage, then I believe you're going to need you're going to need to get into the Camelin Viper to get that kind of distance. When you get into the Viper, I believe Terrica starts pinging Wesley on the Gambler. And this is the Gambler. This is Wesley. I am on the Gambler. Who is this? Oh, is Val there? No, he went. Is everything okay? So you've been gone a long. No, you all been gone a really long time. We've been a bit worried, actually.
And this is going over. We can all.
Yeah, you can all hear it. 'Cause
Right.
It's on like
Okay.
the electronic
Yeah.
comms as you're all getting into the ship, the Camelin Viper. There is, by the way, there are sort of like bad storms that sort of like these like Severance. You know what they are? They're these.
Yes,
This
right.
happens regularly. These terrible like electrical
Right.
debris storms. Has anyone come back from the back to the floating palace? No, not at all.
We're not
Wesley,
gonna
so
have
you-
much time.
You haven't seen Val at all.
No. Has he gone missing?
That remains to be seen.
And the drive, the Camelin Viper starts spooling up.
I'm gonna roll for. Just let's give a little look around in the old mind brain.
Okay, so before you do,
Yes.
I need to ask a couple of questions, including of Val. One, Val, do you have telepathy?
I do.
I see.
Well,
So-
Val does. Greg does not.
Hey, you might both.
If only.
So the thing is,
That's funny, Cord. Why don't you say it out loud? I mean, wait, no, I don't have telepathy. I'm sorry.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
The Harlock,
Yes.
there is one psionic power that allows you to shield your mind from psionics, and that is telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody has telepathy, you cannot sense them because their mind is shielded. Quint realized that when he saw that ship that you were on. There was nobody alive
There's
on there. because they're
nobody
like-
life forms, and I'm like,
and you're
that's
like,
weird.
Okay, either
That's
all
not a
robots,
self-driving ship.
or you can send out a message, but if they're blocking, that would be harder to get through. So you can send out, but if Val's either unconscious or blocking, and the
Is
thing is,
there a way?
before when you were connected, when you were linked, because you had
Mhm.
both had the seed, you probably could have gotten through, but that has been severed.
Is there a way? So if somebody has telepathy, because I feel like a lot of psionic users would have it, is there a way to try and overpower that just to see where they are?
You could try, but that is not easy to do. Would you like to send?
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm?
Let's go ahead.
Okay. You are going to need. I will tell you now. You're going to need to boost your distance because it's
Mhm.
quite far. So you'll need to spend 4 of your psionic points. You don't have to spend them until afterwards. But please roll your telepathy.
Sure. Okay. That
This
is
is-
9.
9. This is a mind linked that you're going for. So, Val, there's an itch in your mind. The Harlock is trying to speak with you. You know it's the Harlock. The Harlock is reaching out to link with your mind. You can
Cool
not
question.
accept.
Ignore it. You can't ignore it.
Mhm.
Is there
Mhm.
any way that instead of like trying to actually actively link, I could just send a message out?
Oh, absolutely. But he doesn't have to listen. Do you know what
That's
I'm saying?
fine. That's not my
Uh,
problem.
uh,
That's listen. The Harlock is doing this because she's feeling
The
incredibly
Harlock
just
has a
giving today.
specific power that
But
makes people listen. You have to listen.
mhm. Um,
but
I would just like to
if he
know,
doesn't listen or respond to it, that's really not her issue. And I don't know that she
Val,
super cares.
do you open your mind? Do you take down your shield to allow this communication?
No.
Then, if you would please roll your telepathy, because apparently some people are going to try to push.
11.
There is nothing.
Well, can I? Is there any way I can just like pin the message to the outside of his shield? Just be like,
Write it on my whiteboard outside
yeah,
of my dorm room.
just right there for you. Just tape it on your door.
Nope, it's dead.
All right.
He could be dead, or he could be unconscious, or he is blocking you. Actually, if you roll me your psionics, like a good psionicology check.
Okay. Sure can. There we go. That's an 8.
He's blocking you.
Okay.
You
But
you
that
you cannot
answers
get in.
every question that she needed an answer to. So
Yeah. You cannot get in, but he is blocking you.
At that point,
He's got his shield up.
so the blocking aspect would not be shared among the group, but I think after being on the comms with Wesley, the Harlock kind of in passing by where Terica is would just stop briefly. Well, he's awake and fine. More or less. We'll have to be patient, though. And then kind of just... Terica asks, how does the Harlock know? The Harlock is not going to answer that.
Severance, could you roll survival? Survival, education, or intelligence? Yeah.
Yes, I can. Where is my sheet? I think I closed out of it because I am the worst. Okay. You want survival intelligence?
Education or intelligence?
Education or intelligence. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be intelligence because I'm smarter.
Slightly different information.
Where the hell is my... So there it is. Oh, I clicked cancel. How many times have I done that? Okay, submit.
You would get a boon, by the way, because that's fine. Good, 11 is all you
I'll
need.
allow it. Nope. I'm doing it with the bone.
As you're in
survival.
the, as you're observing the.
Damn it! I'll take take one. You take one.
Oh, thank you. As you're observing the weather, it's not good flying weather. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, it's real bad. And you know the Rocketeers.
It's almost important. It's almost impossible. We have an electrical radiation storm blowing through, and it's gonna. There's a 80% chance that it's gonna knock out all the power in the ship for a couple hours. So.
Yeah. The ship is pretty well shielded, but it may not. You may want to. You
But
might
not
want
over
to
the
wait.
eye.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to wait a little bit before you try to fly up there for it to pass.
Yeah. We either have to leave now, or which is very dangerous, or we should have to wait. And when I say wait, I mean that's going to take several hours of us being here at the standstill, ground locked until the storm blows over.
Oh, by
that,
the way,
right,
Harlock,
Erica?
he's on the surface of the planet because you know from distance you can't get to the floating palace with your sonic power. So he's on the surface of the planet somewhere. And Tarika
Tarika.
flips the engines and starts to take
Yeah.
off.
Oh, okay. I didn't. All right. All right.
Well-
Okay. All right. And I think like while the ship is like taking off, and these flips are being switched. These switches are being flipped. There's like definite like my Severance's focus is definitely towards the this aurora hidden
Yes.
in the storm
Mhm.
clouds
Yeah.
up ahead. Like he's just really focused on that. Like the shudder of the takeoff is happening. Maybe the lights are flickering because
Yeah.
of the impending storm.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a feeling of anxiety that
Yeah.
you usually don't see a lot from Severance. But since
Noticing
we
that I put on my seatbelt.
like ever since we've been in like atmosphere of this place,
Yeah.
he has been he's had a bit of a like a flexed brow of anxiety as he is there are just things he seems to be focused a lot on whether it is on surviving or whether it is on anxiety for everyone's safety. It's hard to tell, but he is usually focused on whatever the impending danger is, and right now he's just staring at what he knows, and that's how dangerous these storms can be.
Yeah. And as Tarika's spooling up this craft, they say, "Is there somewhere safer we can go?"
Either the best way, if we are to take off now, which it looks like we are, the best way to do is to go above the storm and wait it out, or we would go off of its path. But I do not know which way its path is
Tarika.
or how large it is.
As much as it pains me to share this, Val is on the surface still, somewhere.
What? Sorry, what?
Well, he's purposefully blocking me and ignoring me. I've done this long enough to know exactly what he's doing, but I cannot tell you exactly where he is. I can, however, tell you he has enough mindset and strength and power to be purposefully ignoring me.
Trooper,
Yes.
I've
As Tarika
surveyed a
asks,
bunch of planets.
"Will this ship weather the storm?" This is a
Gambler
small
could.
shuttle. Yeah.
The Gambler could,
this
no
one.
problem. This one, I'm not sure. The Gambler is made for this. The environment of Drinax, it's built for. Forged within, almost. But this, this, whatever this is, what do we call this? The camera
The
camera
Gamblin'
Vipple?
Viper.
Camera Vipple.
Viper.
Viper.
Like a snake.
Viper. Yes.
Yes.
This is, it's uncertain. I mean, I would
Severance,
like to trust it, but I don't. Yes.
is there any... You grew up with the Vespexers, yes?
Yes. What?
Are there any encampments around or anything where he might be?
Of course, yes. Maybe where he might be. I don't know where he might be, but if we needed to go to a Vespexer place, yes. I just don't know the coordinates. But I do remember. Hold on, and he sort of like turns and like I don't know. I think he may spot through this like the dark clouds coming through the tree. And then there is a moment of like him trying to recount where he is. If they're still there, though they are nomadic, we want to go. And he sort of looks at whatever our manual compass would be. And begins to then we're going to want to that way, not go this way, and starts to start nudging Tarika. Go this way.
May I recommend we head in that direction?
Yes, it's a great idea, fine idea. We just have to go quick. We have to go quick as he begins to, of course, still scan.
While all that's going on, I've surveyed a bunch of planets. Can I make some kind of check to see Even though I'm not familiar with Drinax, I've seen a lot of phenomena. Can I
You have?
see how like long we have before the storm gets here, approximately, based on other weird weather phenomena I've seen, and where it was when we got here versus where it is now, and that kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. That would be recon.
Okay.
And because you're based on, you can do your observation, you can do intelligence.
Yes.
Or if you
I'll
want to
do
go
that.
through training, it would be education.
I'll go off of observation. I feel like
Mhm.
my education for the Imperial Scouts was very rushed. So it's a lot of gut feeling on a lot of things. A lot of like, oh, well, this looks about right. Just to try to help with the navigating and such.
An 11. That's good.
11. Yep.
So, we need to make a roll before we go on break. And I'm going to confirm that it is Tarika who's flying this ship.
Yes.
Yeah. Tarika, I need you to roll your small craft, your piloting small craft skill. If you do not have small craft, then it's just your base piloting. I believe that was the case. Before you roll, we need to talk about the fact this will be at a bane because you're in the midst of a terrible storm.
We get a bonus for the weather forecast?
Yes.
Go good.
Yes. You're also going to be getting a bonus for the survival that Severance just did.
Nice.
Because otherwise, that would have been a little bit of a...
You get direction and weather. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. You're going... But there's also some penalties for being in atmosphere with this ship. So it would have been a -3, but you're getting a +2 from Severance and a +2 from Quint. So you'll only be a +1. You are at a bane as you take off into this storm.
Got good piloting. You should be fine.
Base.
Oh, you don't have piloting smallcraft. I thought you had like at least...
Spacecraft.
Well, shouldn't your dexterity be added to that? Because it's rolling 3d6 plus the +1. It's not. I know you've got more than +1 dex.
If you don't have piloting smallcraft, just make a...
Turka does have piloting smallcraft, though.
It does? Oh, excuse me.
Really? Is that true?
It's not rolling with your modifier, is what I'm
true,
saying.
That's important to know. But
that's what I'm being led to
I
believe.
Yes, small craft, but that's a 4.
I believe them.
Right there.
It's in writing.
4.
It's supposed to add dex to it, though.
Let's see.
It's
what
not
is your
rolling
dex mod?
with their modifier.
What's your dex mod? Because I know they've been a little injured. 0. So that is correct.
Okay.
Yes. So
I mean, you have a bunch of pluses.
A fail by 4.
Unless Tarika wants to spend luck, which...
The luck that they... Oh, no, they didn't use it yet. They were about to. And they didn't have to.
Would you like to spend luck on this roll? 4? Great. That's probably a good idea.
Maybe I should fly the ship down
Audience.
And then the game was over.
Oh, it wouldn't be over just yet, but it would be
is intently nodding.
So why don't we discuss what this looks like? That's what I want. As you take off. You take off into this dark and miserable sort of sky that is purple and green and rough. And as you move forward through space, what Severance said is correct. Also, I need my sound. I don't know why I do not have it, but that's fine. I will get it. I will get my sound. And as you sort of begin to take off, I would like you to tell me how badly this goes as you start getting buffeted by wind, but also debris. There's like a debris field that is coming at you.
Possessions that belong to Deborah.
Yes. Deborah's pretty awesome that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're being buffeted by like gravel, rocks, sticks,
Yes.
twigs,
Bits of
and
metal.
also awful electrical radiation. Perfect.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
It's a perfect.
And by the way, you would be dead if it were not for luck. So how does luck and also
Okay.
not only luck, but also survival and like basically weather forecast and survival. How does that get you through this place? And Terika's hands are stuck to the controls, which is a lucky thing, as they get through this place. Go on. Tell me, crew, how this happens.
I think Quint's just calling out weather things as he sees them, you know? Because imagine we still have some sensors, which even though they're getting interference, how much they're getting interference would be indicative of some stuff, you know? Like, oh, they just went completely wet out. Oh, this direction, winds just shifted to this.
Who's going to roll navigation, by the way?
I have an offer
Absolutely.
when it comes to luck.
Yes.
Which also isn't that great, but also pretty cool. What if there's a moment where the wind begins to be too much for this this ship, the Viper?
Because it's a very small ship. It's a little.
Yeah, and it's not at all like
vessel.
it doesn't necessarily fly exactly like the Gambler. I feel like the Gambler is probably a little bit more aerodynamic. This one's probably a little bit more square and blocky, and it's not necessarily. It could probably pierce through wind with the Gambler. The Gambler also has a lot of weight to it, which also, in a weird way, helps it. Because of the sluggish controls that it has. This one probably would be great, but I don't know if Terika has been with the controls long enough to calibrate. You know, when you drive. When even if you're a good driver, you get into someone else's car and you're like, whoa, okay, the brakes, sorry, okay, the brakes are touchy. It's sort of like that, right? I feel like at this moment the wind starts to pick up and really starts to test Terika. And so far that I think even because we feel gravity in the ship right now. There is or maybe the automatic fake gravity doesn't turn on because it doesn't need it.
There is no fake gravity in this ship because it is a drop stealth ship. It is very small.
Cool.
There's
so it's never supposed to be out in space. Right. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. So
it can go
I
in
think,
space, but it doesn't have life support, so it can't. What the oxygen
you only have so many hours of air.
Yeah. I think what happens is there is a moment where we start to hear the pinging and the alerts, the whoop 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 of the ship's altimeter or whatever the hell the thing is, where it tips too much or whatever. Starts to whoop 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 because we are now facing. We are now pointing into the sky or off into the horizon, but we are not stable.
No.
And I think as we're beginning to move and trying to move, we're trying to pierce through the wind that's sort of maybe giving us a crosswind. But and of course, just jump in whenever you want, Ari, and tell me I'm wrong or something. But perfect. No, just say that. You can interrupt me. Don't worry about it. So these crosswinds are happening, and I feel like the ship begins to then, because I feel like the Gambler would be more like this, but I feel like this ship is more like a paper, or like I said, a square.
It's got aerodynamics to it,
but it's not a jet.
You know what I mean?
It's
a
more of a flying rhombus than it is a flying airplane.
It's got fins, but it's also like a what
checks the boxes, but it's not that amazing. It's a dropship.
Yeah, it's like one of those what do you call them? Those shipping containers, right?
It's really good at stealth.
It's very good at stealth.
It's great at stealth. It's
infiltration.
It's like those what are they? What are the stealth bombers, right? Where they're oh, that's a stealth bomber. That is super silly, but also apparently it works. Anyway, so I feel like that in the wind. I don't know about stealth bombers. I'm not a pilot. I'm just a role player and an actor who's playing a renegade clone on the internet. But anyway, I feel like the crosswinds would probably, and the low flying of the ship would probably blow it backwards. So we're sort of like up in the air, in like this like belly up sort of almost way. And those of us, including Severance, who is not seatbelt in because he doesn't wear a seatbelt, we all know that, would probably be rattled or like probably slam against the wall. Unfortunately, the tree that is this Viridian tree that is there is what saves us from actually flipping over onto our back onto the ground and scratching up our cockpit. So I think we probably tear a bunch of branches off of this tree of hope that we all have seen, but it's enough to maybe spring us. Some of the branches break, but are able to, or if some of them break, give us that like soft tumble over into a complete cycle or circle, or whatever, corkscrew. So it is enough for us to gently catch the drift we need to in between the gusts for Terraka to actually slam it into a break between the gusts. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Absolutely.
Like, so my offer is we're about to like sort of capsize, if that's a fucking word, and we're about to capsize, but this like whomping willow of Viridian of Drinax sort of catches the ship, and sort of we do this sort of bounce roll off of it. Some branches break, leaving it forever scarred, but still we are we do not tumble into like slam into the ground like we were planning, or not planning, but we were fated to do. So like using some of the luck, but also giving us something it's not an amazing like success. Something had to sort of happen for that, you know. So the luck being represented as the tree here.
Yeah. And can I get a navigation roll from somebody?
Me. No thanks. Oh, I have navigation. Never mind, I'll do it.
You don't want me to do it.
Wait a minute. It should be me anyway.
Don't make me do it.
Right. For the record, is it going to be Terraka or is it going to be Severance who makes this navigation roll?
I'm gonna do it.
Severance?
Yeah.
With a boon, because this is your home.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hell yeah, that makes sense. I was like, I'm not doing it. Oh, wait, I have it. Never mind, I'm doing it. Where is I roll 20? How's a 7? It's like, call me Severance.
You need an 8.
Yeah. I'm going to just move 1 luck into that.
Excellent. You begin to move, and you're flying, and this is not great flight, because again, the way that this ship is, there's a cockpit that has space for 2 people in the front, and then everybody else has to be strapped into these like drop seats. So Terraka and Severance are together in the cockpit. This pair who don't talk about various things, I guess, but they are together in this cockpit. Whereas
we work really well together.
You do, actually.
We never talk about it.
I know. With a Harlock
just seatbelted in, calling out what
that's what makes it you work well together, is that you don't talk about it.
Exactly. Thank you, the Harlock.
And as you
get
move,
it,
sliding right through this terrible storm, and as you're moving, you can see you're having to dodge like sometimes just chunks of concrete. You know what I mean? Like you're working really hard to get through this space, and as you're moving,
old buildings from a past war.
Yeah, right. That have been like they're still stuck in this atmosphere, and as you're moving, and you're moving closer and closer to the direction that Severance is telling you, you're moving towards the pillars. And the pillars, you see them, and they are metallic. They're death. They are the metal beams of what was once a building, a skyscraper. They are twisted and strange. And as you're moving, and it's very hard to see anything because everything is dark, this is not a good place to fly. Right, as you get close to this, you know, like if you know helicopters, as Lindy does, wires are bad, right? Because you can't see them very well.
Wires are real bad.
Wires are real bad, and this whole place is an unsafe space.
For those who don't know, Lindy is a helicopter, everybody.
Lindy is a helicopter.
Yep, I'm a helicopter.
Yep. And as you're moving closer to this place, the pillars, the ruins of a city, the place that Severance knows. It's the biggest of the Vespexer. It's like the only stable and sort of settled Vespexer place. Most of the rest of Vespexers travel, and they will come into this place, right, and then go back out. They're very nomadic. But this is like the home base of the Vespexers, where they might do trade, where they'll gather things to trade with the palace. And as you're moving in, getting closer to this place, realizing that as you're flying, Tarika, you're like, it's just a lot of clouds, and then all of a sudden you see like a spike, like out of, like you have to move around it. It is very, very unsafe to be anywhere near here. This is not a place that you want to be. And as you're moving in closer to this space, you're beginning to find where you might be able to, and like landing is also a problem, to be honest, because there's not a lot of, this is what I'm looking for, great. There's not a lot of, it's not great, right? Where you're gonna land, everything is treacherous and spiky and strange. And as you're moving, you can see like a radio tower that is still functioning, or at least it's not broken. And you think this must be the place, as Severance is guiding you there. And I just need this, I think. I hope this will work for us. That's great, but that's not what I want. I want actually maybe dangerous. Perhaps I want dangerous. Yes. As you're moving, trying to move over, trying to maneuver between this treacherous space with pockets of air and resistance. And it is hard. It takes everything you can to try to move through this place. Who has the least luck right now out of you four? Who has the lowest luck?
It's me. I've got 2.
Could you please roll luck?
You got it. I don't know if it's actually me, but it's probably always me.
I think it's you.
I have
Yep.
5 right now.
All right, perfect. Okay, luck. Roll the luck. Huzzah. That was probably with a boon.
That you should not be rolling with a boon. You should be rolling it with a bane.
Oh, okay.
With a bane.
Yeah.
Right, that
Yeah, yeah.
changes
Neat.
things a little bit.
Yeah. Because
'Cause
you're
it would've
in a
been-
bad way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a
Great.
0.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So,
That's what I wanted.
Us.
as you're moving forward, you hear life crackle on your radio. You hear who's approaching? This is the Vespexer capital? Who's approaching?
The Harlock will just look at Severance.
Yeah, same. This is where he's from.
This is where he's from. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is Severance.
Oh, Baron.
Severance. Yes. Hi. Yes. Please make way for us.
Yes.
We are not in a great spot. There is a bit of we've got a
Yes.
storm behind us.
What? No,
and
you're,
we're right-
Baron, you're breaking up. Baron? 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 No. No. And that is when all of the power on your ship goes out,
Wonderful.
and your engines shut off.
Perfect.
Your electronics shut off, and you start losing atmosphere amongst a jagged field of the gutted remains of a city. And that's also when we're going to take our break.
Yay! A break! What a happy break this will be.
Whee!
We'll be right back. Please drink, stretch your legs, and we'll come back to see how they're going
be
to
drinking.
deal with
I'm gonna get a muffin.
this.
Emotional support.
Electrical storms are bad, everybody. Electrical storms,
Yeah.
they're bad.
Yay, survival skill. Who's
Yes,
got a crate?
survival
Everybody bring a
skills.
crate. Everybody BYO crate.
BYOC, bring your own crate.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right
Right.
back, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. They're all here. We're in the right scene. We should be good. I will be doing secret tech things as we speak. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, our crew has lost power in a very treacherous space. Very bad, treacherous space. So, we're going to need some rolls to deal with this power outage that came from a bad luck roll in the midst of an electrical ion nuclear storm.
Yep. Buzzwords. In a
Buzzwords.
buzzword storm.
Buzzword storm. Terrica is on the controls, but this is going to be a terrible roll that they're going to have to make. So they're not going to be the only one who's there's going to be a chance to everybody make a chain to help this roll before we get there. So before Terrica makes the actual last roll, I'm going to ask who on the ship would like to help first. Terrica's at the controls. You have no power. You have no sensors. You're in the middle of this terrible storm. There are spiky bits of ruins of a dead civilization happening at odd angles. Who would like to help?
I would.
And how? How would you like to help?
That's a good question. I have two ideas. My first idea is to roll mechanics, because I have mechanic as a skill to try to get power back. My other idea is to just help pilot, because I have a +3 to pilot small craft with my dex. So those are my two ideas. I'll do whichever people want me to do. That's because I'll mechanic to try to fix power, or I can help pilot because I'm good at small craft.
That's on you all.
Anyone?
You have what? What was the question?
I can.
By the way, it would
you
be
roll
engineering.
mechanic to try to fix. Oh, it'd be engineering. I don't have engineering then. What good is mechanic for?
General equipment. It's actually quite important for that kind of what's the word? Jury rigging.
Anything with ships.
Yeah. There's like
well,
a
for
lot,
jury rigging, we could jury rig the shit out of this for now.
Raise your hand if you have engineering.
We'll get back to you. The Harlock, what about you?
Is this, because I haven't really used this as much as I realistically should have, is this an opportunity to use leadership in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it is.
That sounds like a job for me.
100%.
Good job for leadership.
It is.
Wait, before they do that, then I want to do it. Haha.
These are all options, actually. You both can. You both can.
I would.
We can try and out leadership each other.
Be hilarious. I'm not going to do that. Like, I think if we were out in space, I probably like Severance would, but I feel like because we're here on Drinax, he is like more worried about actually being of use.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Could we get, if you don't mind, your leadership role?
Yes.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, make sure it's on normal. Okay. That's a 15.
Wow.
The Harlock stands up.
Oh.
And then everybody just goes,
and like takes and flips a cape around. And...
You just stand up and somehow acquire a cape, and then we all are inspired.
And then
Start slow clapping.
And then sits down again.
So that's great. That's really good. So you made that roll by 7.
The Harlock puts a hand on Terga's shoulder. You can do it. And then sits back down.
You have 7 plus 1s that you can give to anyone else, but only one at a time. You cannot give more than 1 bonus per roll to anybody else for this entire situation, right? So anytime somebody makes a roll, you can give them a +1 up to 7 you have to
7
give.
times. Yeah, so you can't do like, I give you +1 twice.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, who's going next?
Mm-hmm. I feel like Terrica should be last, by the way, is all I'm gonna say there.
Well, that's funny because Tarek and I are going to swap places.
Oh, that's funny because Tarek and I are going to body swap places. So.
Oh.
Hooah!
Yeah. And now I'm you, and now you're me.
Because Quentin has piloted this vessel the most. We've talked about piloting. We've been on the ship. I've been messaging Ari. There's probably an exchanged look, and we just swap because they know I don't have engineering skills, but they know I can pilot a small craft. So
I will say, by the way, mechanic is good for the hull. When your hull gets damaged and you have big breaches in your hull, that's when you're going to need mechanic real hard.
Well, we might need it when we
on the hull. Mechanic is good.
Yeah. So in this moment, right, Terica bounds out of the pilot's chair. Well, actually, you're both in the. You have to switch cockpit spots, right?
Yeah.
So
we just go. Whoosh.
Right, and so then here we have Quint jumping into the pilot spot, and as it turns out, Terica jumps back to the engine, which means I believe that Terica's going to go next. Terica. Yep. Engineering. If you have power, that would be the specialization. If you don't, just good old regular engineering. We'll just see what we get here. And
what's a +1 from our great leader?
Well, only if the leader says so.
Well, that's what I was just translating for Ari's hand movements because I saw there was no reaction.
Oh, there's +1s are going to be thrown out like we're at an open show.
Okay.
Harlock is specifically in and said, "You got this."
Yes. Please.
Just a double tap on the shoulder.
That's with a Bane, which you did not need.
However, it's all 4s. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you please roll that? Oh, it's all 4s? Oh, so then you're fine.
It's all 4s. Yeah.
Great. So then you don't have to worry
3
about
4s.
it.
Force is strong with this one.
Let's make this note. We have to make a note. +2. We'll just hold on to that. Severance, what would you like to do?
Yes. That's what I'd like to do. I have engineering, which is fun, but I don't know if he's in engineering mode, because I'm pretty sure he's in survival mode.
Yes.
So... So we're crashing. We did crash. Power just went out and we're falling.
You're falling. And it looks like Quint's going to try to coast in the middle of a bunch of spiky, terrible death trap things.
Okay. In that case, I will navigate.
You can be my spotter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I will.
Yes.
I think I will just sort of like lean over, have hand on dash, and maybe hand on the back of the chair.
100%.
As I'm just sort of like peering through the window. I'm not usually as intent about navigating or care about what's in front of us. I usually just trust whoever's whoever's piloting. But there is such a sense of like responsibility and respect on this planet when you get it. Anyway, so Severance is gonna do a.
But also, I will note that you cannot use your sensors for this because they're out. So you are having to use your eyeballs.
I've used my eyeballs. Yeah, right? I've got to use my eyeballs.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I? Could I? Here's a. Hear me out. Can I? One moment. Could I try and use navigation? But I just want to be cool about it and use my psionic strength because, hear me out, we are on Drinax.
Yes.
And 2, we have a giant crystal in the back.
Yes. However, if
I'd
you
love
do
this.
this,
I love there's a however, yeah.
If you have got this giant crystal, do you touch it? It's pretty huge.
No, I don't think. I mean, like that would involve knowing that I have to use the crystal. I think this would be. This would.
Let me ask you this: you have 2 sources of viridian within your.
Yeah, one is on my. Yeah, one is on my glasses.
And one is over there.
Which one do
you? Which one do you?
The other one is.
This one is not Terran. It's actually a planet that's in Imperial space. That's this one, the one that was stolen from Mary Moore's wife. And then you have the Drinaxian one. Which one are you more connected to at this moment? The big giant one that's right there, that's connected to this planet, or the one that's connected to the evil warlord that you.
100% the one that's in the cargo.
Then
Um.
I'm afraid you must roll with a boon.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I will.
Oh no.
Oh no! How dare you? But yeah. So
The
I
Harlock, do you
don't think.
give him a +1.
Sure do.
How?
Yeah, this probably makes way more sense for the Harlock to give me a +1 on a psionic roll
Yes.
than
How?
me looking out the window roll.
How?
Well,
The Harlock.
So the Harlock has been all up in Severance's brain
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
numerous times.
I'm a visual learner.
And I think they know each other really well. Severance probably less so now than had used to be the case.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the Harlock would know how to help like soothe nerves.
Yeah.
To where,
Mm.
you know, I mean, 'cause
Psionic
this-
purring.
right, because there's,
Yeah.
I imagine she would be aware that this is a potentially stress-inducing space, even location to be in and things like that. Like, there's a lot, because again, she's been in there, she's wandered around and stuff like that. So I think it would be, again, like a psionic hand on the shoulder, like reassuring and things of that nature.
Please roll your navigation using your psionics as your base, which means you're looking beyond just regular eyesight.
Yeah, because there's a.
And a +1.
I have attuned to the big old. Oh yeah, thank you. I've attuned to the big old crystal in the back. I've charged my crystals in the full moon. 6.
Is that with the +1?
Yeah, that's with the +1.
Yes.
That's not that great at all.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, because it's because the psionics -3. Yeah.
I do have 2 more luck.
Then please spend them.
I will spend thy luck, and now I'm out of luck, so no one ask me for anything else.
That's going to be a +1 to the final roll. Well, Tarika, it is you. You rush back to the engine room, to where the engine of this like little plane is. It's not great, the power plant. You're going to try to get this going, I believe. Please. Before you roll, we have more floating +1s from our leader. Leader, if you wish to aid, how will you do so?
So, let's see, hang on. I have so many things open. Give me that last part real quick.
Ari did actually just roll for engineer. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just
That's
saw
where the
it.
first +2 came from.
Why don't you say something? Right?
Yes.
I mean, Ari, why didn't you say anything?
So we got a +2 from Ari, and then we got a +2 from Cord, or +1 from Cord. So we're at,
Okay.
yeah.
So that looks like it's only going to be. I suppose we're done, right? It's just going to have to be Quint's roll right now, I guess.
It's going to be Val. Val, you want to help us out?
Oh, well, we're going to have to hold off on that question for a second, I'm afraid.
Val.
We'll have to hold off on that one. Quint.
Can I land on Val with the ship? No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to need you. There's going to be a little bit of a timey-wimey business here, if you don't mind.
Sure. Oh, I love
I'm going to
that.
need you to roll.
Sus now. Yeah.
With a +1?
We have to tell me how. With a Bane.
Okay.
Right? You're currently getting a +3 from your fellows. 1 more from your leader, if your leader describes how that happens.
So I think for this, at this point, the chair shifting has happened.
Yeah, Quint's serious face is on. Like the very serious face.
Serious face is on. Yeah, I think, and then at this point, where is everyone located? Like, I know that Tarika's gone to the engine.
And Severance are in the cockpit. Tarika's at the back where the power plant is.
And this is not a big ship, so.
No, it's really small. It's like, it's a...
You can see everybody.
Yeah. It's really small. It is tiny. It's stealthy.
So to that end, I think we had a moment where Quint and the Harlock had a little more. I mean, they've been quietly aligning in a lot of
Yes,
ways.
they have.
Yes.
They like being violent together, and that really
Yes.
They
that
do.
will bond.
Adorable.
Bond friends. So I think to that end, again, just as simple as, and this isn't something that the Harlock has really done all that much, but as
Yeah.
simple as kind of reaching into the, because again, it's very small,
Yeah.
reaching into the cockpit and just like putting a hand and like just patting
Yeah.
on the side.
So
kind
you,
of like a, you've got this, and then
yeah,
but I don't think they would really need to say anything because
Yeah.
they don't really talk to each other all that much.
yeah.
We don't talk much, no. Or
We don't use
initiate
our
physical
we don't
contact
use
much.
our words. We use our punches.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm going to need a roll,
Punch first, ask questions later.
but
There it
You-
is.
are at a minus. You're at only a +1 because of your minuses,
Okay.
and you're at a bane.
I'm at a Bane. Was
To
+4, but it's -3, so I'm at a +1.
yep, to maneuver through this terrible, terrible, dangerous situation.
Okay.
As the power starts to flicker, right? You can start feeling as Tarek is working on the power plant, the engine
Just have to
starts
use a thruster here.
yeah, just
a
a little. It's
thruster
beginning
there.
to. It's coming back, but it's struggle.
Not that much of a struggle.
Mm.
Well, I don't know what I need, but that's pretty good considering it's at a Bane.
It is pretty good. That's pretty good considering it's at a bane. You think you might have it.
Uh-huh.
Think you might have it. It might be okay. There's a
Mhm.
one of these things that just jumps out. You're able to like maneuver that you get enough thruster
get-
from
A thruster just enough to spin us.
right just
Yeah.
out of the way. But there's another
To a
one, and
barrel.
like it's you're losing power. You're not able to keep the altitude, but you're able to keep from like running into these terrible things. And you think maybe you'll get
It's
it.
like an asteroid field.
It's like an asteroid field. Maybe you'll have it. And you start hearing a little bit of something on the radio coming in, but it's not fully. It's not. You can't. It's breaking up. It's not there, and you think you might have it, and then there's a pocket, and the ship starts to drop.
Downdraft, damn.
Meanwhile, Val,
I'll spend. I could spend luck if I needed to as well. But
I got you for
You
a
know.
moment. Val, how you doing?
Yes.
I believe
I'm
you're having
peachy.
a pleasant conversation with Medea.
That's correct, yes.
Yes. And, you know, it's been a pretty decent amount of time. And Medea's like, well, this is a hard life down here. Death comes easily. There's no life here. What life there is often twisted. But Drinax is our home. And we are tilling the fields that cannot grow until they can. The earth is fallow. It won't take water. We live amongst the ruins. But we've never left the surface, never abandoned this place. And there will be a time when we'll be able to walk outside without our hazard suits. That will be our time. You know, I once was up on the floating palace. I accompanied Chieftain Galx. And it was so cramped there. Everybody was on top of each other. Beautiful, but have no space to turn around. Here, We have all the space there is, but no air, except here. I like to think that we are keeping the lights on. That's what I like to think. There's a lot of talks. The chieftain, we first discussing if we could move up there into the palace, but when we came to see the chieftain, she said there wasn't really much space. It wouldn't really be like it is down here. They have their own troubles in their own ways. They look a bit listless, I guess, is the best way to put it. I'd like to say it's the fresh air down here, but the air isn't fresh. You know, my great-great-grandfather lived in the city above the pillars. He worked there. He was a, I think he did some sort of thing with computers, I guess. Invented something? I don't know. But that was a while ago. But we remember. Not an easy life. But we have our own sort of freedom. Would you like to join us here? They could use a school-trained doctor.
It is a powerful offer. And I think I can. And again, he would only say this, Medea, if there's nobody around.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
poison a well here.
Yeah.
So he would pull up his computer, and instead of Sue manifesting in holographic form, it would be like a vid or a photograph that his mother had taken of her land back on Asim.
Yeah.
And he would pull that up so Medea could see it. This is my home. Asim.
Oh, welcome. Welcome to the kingdom. It's, you all in Asim. We were all starving, all of us, up there and down here. And we had, I think the hydroponics failed. There was some sort of algae that had poisoned things, and, oh, well, everybody was dying every which way. Well, that was 20 years ago, 21, 22 years ago, I think, before you came back to us. And, oh, we didn't know, actually, if we would even survive, all of us. Chieftain Gaux went up to consult. Looked very bad for us. Certainly thought that we would all starve to death. Then you came and you joined us. And she takes your hands in hers. And when you look at her, you think she is probably like mid-20s, maybe, but very weathered, skin like leather. You're coming to join us. Brought us food, both here and above. May the sun follow you always, child of Asim. Thank you so much.
He would return the clasp of the hands and kind of move one of his on top of both of hers. And he would lean in, because again, this is not something that he wants to, he doesn't want to poison anything. He doesn't want anyone else to hear this and think, oh my God, there's a chance.
Yeah.
If the time comes, and you will know that, like the problems you spoke of 20 years ago, contact this number, and he will give her his communique box for
Yeah.
free fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can get you, and he would raise his arm up again with that picture and that landscape.
Yeah.
Here.
The doctor. You should know something. Up there, they don't really have enough ships to move fuel. But also, this place here, Drinax, this is our home. This is a place.
Worth fighting for.
Yes.
Then let me rephrase. I would never ask you to abandon your home or sacrifice the years that you've already spent and the lives that you've already lost. But if you ever run into a situation that you cannot work around, if you have a plague, if you have your young ones get sick, if something occurs that you need to get someone from here to there, albeit temporarily, you contact me.
Thank you. And she opens her mouth, and that's when you hear a crackling on her communications. And it says, Medea, there's a ship approaching. Uh, we can barely make it out on the sensors. It's seems to be some sort of stealth ship, but it's putting out heat signals. Something's wrong. It's coming in hot to the pillars. I think there's might be damage. I think it might. I think it's going to crash. I'm trying to hail it, but well, it's the comms have gone out. It's a small thing. It looks like it looks like it's going to crash. You might want to bring the
Val's gone.
the and as you can hear the person on comms talking about bringing in like the rescue crews, right? The wreckage crews. Val is gone. Val.
The last thing that anybody might hear is him screaming for Sue to direct all energy to thrusters.
How would you like to aid this role?
If they list to the right, if they are coming in hot, or if they are imbalanced, or if there is a way to right the craft, he's going to throw the weight of the suit and all of its thrusters to counterbalance it.
The last roll to aid, if you would. Strength.
But I get to use my strength.
Yes.
Oh, shit. I don't know what that is. Hold on. Please hold.
I believe I have it. Let me grab.
I do too somewhere. You'll find it faster.
Oh, wait. It's under my campaign sheets. It's under booty with a T. Oh, actually, doesn't help. Still same. Grab assist. You should be getting plus.
Damn it! Where is
4.
this thing?
Plus 7.
Plus 7. Okay.
Plus 7 to your strength.
Do I get a boon or bane or anything like that?
So you're adding plus 7 to your strength for this roll.
Yeah.
We have a plus 1 that could come from your leader if they could figure out how to do it.
So,
Hmm.
let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been a lot easier if someone accepted my call earlier.
Honestly, I
Oh
don't think
shit!
he's not going to accept the help. That's the problem.
Yeah, because he's
So
away.
it's realistic that he's not
Yep.
going to do it. So
Okay.
Yeah, so at that point, I'm not sure there's too much else I would
Yep.
really be able to do from where we are.
Then roll it. If
Then
you
I would
have
say
athletics, you can add.
Ooh, do I? Probably not. But
Okay. But your
Do
strength
not.
is going to be at a +7.
okay.
Can,
The
there's a
last
question,
thing he
can
would
Terica
do,
help? Not yet. It's
he would
leadership.
ask for Sue's help.
Mm. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
He would probably let it slip. Help me, Mom.
All right. I'm going to need a survival check. Let me see what I can do for you here.
You got it. Oh, not for me.
Let's see what we can do here. It's a 4, but we are talking about, I should get a boon, so that's going to take you up to a 5. We've got a 5 at this moment. You need help, yes?
I mean,
Okay.
that's what he's asking for. But again, it's a moment of mania. So
It is. Let me ask you. Do you need it very badly? Is it in your feelings that you need this help?
if he thinks that Terica is on the ship, then yes.
Okay. Do you want to spend any luck before I make my move?
I can spend luck on what?
This roll, because you
Can I
and Sue
that
are a
after?
little bit linked, you know.
Oh, on the 5 roll. Yeah, let's drop 3 into that to make it an 8.
Okay. Please make your strength roll at a +1. And you get a boon.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a +8 with a boon total.
Yeah. +8 with a boon to that roll. So not after the fact, but to the stat itself.
I added it to the stat and then gave myself a separate +1.
That is correct. Yep.
13.
Okay. Back into the ship. You start dropping like a rock, straight down.
Downdraft.
Downdraft. Please take a +3 to the roll that you had before.
So a 13.
A 13. As you can feel and the sensors go off, something is pushing the ship from below.
Can I figure out that it's Val and Sue, since I have a connection to Terra?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Spoilers. Yeah.
However,
Not really.
Mm-hmm. You're all 1 short.
Oh, then I'll put a point of luck into it.
Do you?
Because I would like to, yes.
Tell me about that.
So Quint, wasn't planning on driving this thing today. Letting Terica get some practice
Here
with the
we
stealth
are.
ship. But then shit got real fast, and we exchanged a look, needed to swap places. Quint's jumping in, very serious. This is probably the most intense piloting done that Quint has done since the Navy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times scouts will just wait things out. So
Yeah.
this is probably the
Yes.
most intense piloting they've
Yeah.
done since they were in the Navy, which was, let's say, a while ago, and not say exactly how long ago that was.
Sure.
Was it 20
Let's be
years ago or
specific. How
something?
many? Okay, all right, perfect.
And just, listening to Severance's input, feeling the pat from the Harlock, get the power, and then Val appearing.
Yeah.
That Terra showing up, because
Yes.
in this moment,
Yes.
Quint isn't going,
Yeah.
oh, Val's helping out. It's like there's assistance on the outside, but then I feel
Yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
I'm basically been a Viridian detector for this
Yes.
whole
Yes.
couple seasons I've been here. I
Yes.
feel Terra,
Yes.
and I can't let Terra down. Not after what I learned today. So I just push myself, because if Soleimani will tell you anything, it's that you can always try harder to succeed. You should always do your absolute best. Always. And if you don't, you're a fuck up and a failure. So I'm gonna just channel my inner Soleimani, sayings, and not let Tara down, and not let everyone else in here crash and die too. So I'm gonna feel inspired from Tara's proximity and push real
That's
hard.
super dope. Can I add? I have 3 extra luck. Can I
Please.
add my 3 luck to it as well?
Yes. Anyone
And
else?
here's what would happen.
I want to hear it.
When Val hits he hits like around the nose of the craft, like right
Yeah.
around the cockpit area with the view screen, like the screen. And as he would crash into it for a second and begin to use he magnetizes himself to it and begins to use his own suit as a thruster to kind of right you, he would look into the window expecting to see Tarika. But when he looks in and he sees Quint, he lets the metallic of the reflective glass come down.
Yeah.
And he looks right at Quint and winks and makes the metal come back up as he blasts full force into lifting them up a little bit.
Sick.
Somewhere in there, Quint acknowledges that it happens, but won't realize until after the fact, because he's just too focused on not crashing.
So we were crashing in an Iron Man suit. Val came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We were looking for, clanged into our ship, and is now trying to thrust and push us onto the correct path.
Yeah.
Right, perfect.
That's right.
Yeah, that is so dope.
Please note, in terms of visuals, we've got
So it's
Severance and Quint in the double cockpit.
I'm doing that
right.
So that's like a 17 with all that.
And you've got the Harlock
Wow,
right
dope.
behind, with hands on both of their shoulders, looking through, and in the back is Tarika, madly getting that power plant working again. And you all felt, because there's no artificial gravity, that drop, right? And then the pushback. And the ship, because extra luck was spent.
Yeah.
You needed a 14, but you have a 17. The ship begins to sort of stabilize, and it is every bit of work all of you do. And you're able to basically maneuver with the power coming on from Tarika in the back, with Severance noting and pointing when is this very, very dangerous canyon of wrapped metal, right, is coming in on your 2, your 5, there, right? The Harlock exuding this sense of calm and focus on everyone. Val, running the suit to the limit, pushing and helping it move out of this sort of debris. And Quint, the pilot of this moment, able to use everything you've had, but also seeing, sensing home in Val. You were able to get the Camelin Viper safely onto the ground.
I think Quint inhales, after we stop moving, not even realizing that she'd been holding her breath for the last little bit of it. Well, we didn't need to bring the brown pants today. Okay. It was only an almost needed the brown pants.
Well
Gross. Ew. What do you mean? All right. Well, that was good. Good flying.
Maybe humor.
Good flying. We are.
Yep.
Now here.
We're not dead. I'm happy.
Is that Val?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it was Val. And then recalls the wink and is like, I don't know what that means. What? I'm confused. Is that a threat? I don't know. Doesn't say it out loud, but has an internal crisis about it for a moment.
And Tarika comes from the back, where the power plant is in the rear, and puts their hand on Quint's shoulder. But then they hear that that was Val, and they immediately race to the back of the ship. I assume you're going to seal your hazmat suit first, of course, and opens the doors to the Camlin Viker. These doors are made.
Everybody inside the shuttle starts choking.
Oh,
And
I assume I'm still in my suit because I don't play with crashing.
I mean, I died.
No.
Yeah. So everybody dies, and then the door opens up.
To make an escape.
And this
then this is where I bring in the other guy, my pirate. This is where I bring in Scarred. All right, good.
I have a backup.
This is, of course, a drop ship. So you've got these big bay doors that people can then just leap out of in these suits. The doors open up.
Right, because we're on a drop ship. Right.
You're on a drop ship. This is
literally meant for this.
Yeah, this is what this is. This is made for dropping in commandos to go and do illegal things.
Sneakily.
The doors open.
Things. If you have a
Illegal
you're a
things,
privateer.
yeah.
Doors open. Who's there?
The devil. Well,
Okay, perfect.
a fungus vole. There's Val, I assume, has not left. Is in
Fungus
the
Val.
suit.
Yeah, he
And-
will kind of float around, hover around to the back where the doors would open, and he'd come to rest as like the dust comes up around him.
And Tarika runs forward in their suit because it is all radiation out here all the time, and just hugs him. Suit is quite awkward. Suit to suit. If
From the
allowed.
cockpit in this
Mhm.
in this ship.
I'm just doing the shutdown procedures now. I'm
Right.
like, and probably like a little like adrenaline rushy, so the
Yep.
hands are probably a little
Mhm.
trembling, just like
Trembling as you're like finding the right switches.
Yeah.
The in the cockpit of this ship, can
you do have access
we?
to guns. Sorry.
Right, we have access to guns.
and they're
but,
all
like,
cleaned.
And thank you very much. That was my question. Never mind. No.
I maintenance
so
them on the way down.
in the cockpit of this ship, does it have direct access viewing to the cargo? I feel like it may.
Yes.
If it is
well,
a
actually,
drop
you can just
ship,
look.
but I also
because you
right.
have-
And like, could
it
I
is
look
real
from here
small.
and be like, oh, that's the
Yes.
back, or is there
Yeah.
like several doors or a
No,
Nope.
like a shut off? This is the cockpit, and
Nope.
then that's
we might
the-
have a curtain.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it was something probably.
There's like a toilet. Like this place, this
Yeah.
dropship is
Yeah.
mostly cargo
It's a
bay.
toilet and
good.
hand sanitizer. It's like a
Yeah.
porta john situation. It's
It's
not even a
mostly-
suit.
It's like one
wing-
of those real small Pan Am flights from back in the
Yes.
80s. It's
Right.
got a
Yeah.
fucking curtain and
Yeah.
Got a curtain
Like-
and then the tail of the ship,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have
and
a
then
jump
some people in
drive.
between.
There's nowhere to sleep, right? Like you've got
Yeah.
like the
You got the jump
You can sleep
jump seats.
in your 5-point
Yeah.
harness.
yeah. That's what you got, and it's
Yeah, we've got
and it's
jump
also got like
seats
a
I've done
and a
that
massive,
before.
big door.
yeah, and a massive armory. Like there's like more room.
The
taken
Dodge
up with,
Caravan
like,
of Traveler.
yeah, the space for the
Right.
suits and all their weaponry. This is not a place that's really fun to be in for a long time, and it.
That's what I said. Dodge Caravan of Traveler.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
perfect.
So you could just like look back and see them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sweet. So as I sort of like look back, and I that's just why I just want to know where I was like watching. I don't
Yeah.
really have anything to do
Mhm.
besides just watch from here. But I just wanted to see if like
Yeah.
I just wanted to know where I was. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So without having to move, I'm able to peer back and see this
Yeah,
interaction.
Absolutely, it's a very small ship. Yeah, there's like a curtain for like the little porta john. Like that's what you got. So there they are. They're hugging.
I think as they're hugging, I'm going to like watch them, and then I'm going to turn and I'm going to like flip the switch to close the cargo door. Like even if they're on the ramp, just to like maybe scoop them in, maybe.
Yeah.
But just to like seal them in and make sure everything is okay, good, everyone's together.
Last call for anything to say before I end it.
Erica looks and says, "Are you okay?" to Val.
Val would drop the mirror from the mask, so Terrico would be looking at themselves as the mirror goes down, and Val's face would be revealed, and he wouldn't say anything. He'd just wink.
And I just give the Harlock a thumbs up. Like once the shutdown procedures are done, I'm just like did it, Captain. Like just a a look of
Kind of like we would
Yeah.
respond with the bro nod.
yeah.
Which looks like
One of
those who aren't bros. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
One of those.
We're not many words people. Thumbs up
Then,
and bro nods.
Terka rests their head against his chest and starts to cry.
Mm.
Which is even worse because you're in a suit. So, like, you can't wipe the tears. It's just,
Lot of
it's
snot.
just,
Lot of snot
salty chapped
everywhere.
cheek
it's gonna
mess.
start to fog up. Well, it's probably high tech. It probably doesn't fog up, but you know, it's just, I imagine it's messy.
It has one of those
Inside has
crosshair
little
things
like
that
windshield
blows,
wipers that
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it immediately detects
I just
humidity and begins
imagine it
to
has
power
humidity
blow onto her face. Onto their face. And just
And you
Fan
hear
dry out
turns
their
on.
eyes.
a crackle on the comms. Shh. Baron Severance? Is this the Baron Severance's ship? Up there.
This is
Baron Severance, we're coming to get you.
correct. This is Baron Severance. What are our coordinates? Are we? Do you have our location?
2753. You know, I just rattle off the points.
75753 negative 27.
We're on our way.
All right. Oh, good. Copy that. Can't wait to see you.
We'll bring your walker.
Good. Yes. Bring more than one. Bring them all. Bring. How many do you have?
No, we're bringing yours, your personal one.
Yes. Aha! I knew I had one this whole time. Yes. Bring. You still have it? Good. All right. See you soon. It's not going to fit in the ship. Thank you. Oh, please.
And you see out in the distance these large, two-legged sort of mecha beginning to walk. And they have these massive, heavy feet, round. And you can see that they need these heavy feet because everything here is precarious. Like they are stomping on all the sort of shards of metal, and they're able to sort of maneuver through this sort of uneven and sort of distorted landscape. And then you can see about 3 or 4 walkers heading towards the ship from Severance home. And with that, we shall end the session. I believe
I did not plan on having a walker, but it's super fucking dope.
I know what skills you have on your character sheet.
Oh,
You
I know I have
clearly
the
a
skill. I just
walker.
didn't know that meant I had a walker. I'll take it.
Do you think that you have lived on that surface for so long with all of your bring your own crate skills and you haven't gotten yourself a walker? Come on
There was a
now.
bring your own walker. Imagine if we were at the other planet and I was just like, I need a walker right now. The only way out of this is if I have a walker.
And because the thing is, you're not going to want to. No wheels is going to work for this place. Tracks
Of
are
course.
also a bit tricky. You need a
Yeah.
walker.
Treads. Like,
Treads,
I imagine
yeah,
a tank
yeah.
could
Yeah.
be good
Before
in certain
this show is
places.
over, before this show is over,
This episode
we're
of the show.
getting that walker on the Gambler, and we're doing an orbital drop at one point.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Where
I
have a good idea for that place.
Encase that fucker in a shell and drop it to you on
That'd be
planet.
so sweet. And then I'd just be like, oh, hold on. And beep, 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 beep. And then like Wesley's trying to drive the ship
Yeah.
and then just someone pushes the walker out. Yeah.
Ah,
Or I get to actually just do an orbital drop while Val is
In the walker.
in the suit.
Yeah.
But I'm in the walker. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And it was just like a Titanfall
We're gonna
drop.
Power Ranger this shit, buddy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, all right,
that's all
perfect.
there is to
I
it.
don't know why I'm doing this. I just need to do a diplomacy check. But I'm going in a walker.
hey,
Yeah, it'll be sweet.
depending on who you're diplomating, that might be helpful. We're gonna do our outros.
I would also love to see in the Discord your walker image submissions chat of what they may look like. Feel free to draw your own or use AI because I want to see them.
I just
And
imagine
it's
an
gonna be
AT-AT.
janky. Yeah, an
It's
AT-AT,
gonna be.
but
It's got to be janky.
it's gotta be
It's got to be
janky.
post-apocalyptic, janky, and something that
Yep.
Severance would wear. Is what I was
Ah.
thinking.
So, my friends, we're gonna hit it for this evening. I want to say thank you all for being here. Not You've been to the Floating Palace, you've been to the heart of
Mhm.
Drinax, and now you're going to go to the
Pillars.
Vespexer city, which is Severance's home. And
Right.
they're very happy to see him because he's special to quite a few of them. He did something quite heroic to get the title Baron. I suppose we'll find out.
I'm posting an image of what it looks like in my brain at the pillars. Check the Discord
Nice.
under where we usually post things for this game.
So, since I know some people have a hard out, I would love for us all to go around and say who you are, where we can find you, and then give some love. Give some love as we sort of close our curtain with Val in the suit, with June actually as Sue, sort of there, with Tarika, with their head on his chest crying, and with the rest of the crew watching all of this, and the walkers coming in to greet their hometown hero, Baron Severance. So, first and foremost, the bestest Iron Man ever. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? And give some love.
Take that, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
RDJ, get fucked.
Get
Okay, everybody. Hi.
fucked.
Hey, everybody. My name is Greg. I play Dr. Valentine Val Morrissey. I am a warp reactor over on YouTube. If you like reaction videos or science fiction, jump over there. We have a great community, a lot of fun people and folks that are very non-spoilery in their help and guidance of me as I meander through different sci-fi properties poorly. And so I don't know if that's a sell or not, but come on over. Who do I give my love to? I give my love to each and every one of these people for playing their characters correctly. And I don't mean correctly like by my standards. I mean correctly like they are playing them realistically. And I absolutely love that. And I think that my love for everybody. Obviously, I'm going to leave Ari the ability to RP without a voice. That is something else. I don't think I've seen that yet.
Never seen that either.
Before tonight, I hadn't seen it. I've seen it now. Box checked. My love this tonight goes towards Rockette, the Harlock, because the Harlock is such a tough nut. And if you know Fox, Fox is nothing like the Harlock as far as the Harlock being like so icy and like not icy, but just like, fuck you guys, I can do this better myself. That type of stuff.
I
Fox
can
is
say fuck you more often. I can
Please.
do it.
No,
It's in my
but
lexicon.
it's not the same if you don't mean it. But again,
more
if
icy, thanks.
you all, if you ever, if you're lucky enough, Fox is absolutely just one of the greatest individuals ever, and I am impressed every single time she switches on me. I really don't give a fuck about anything with the Harlock because it almost takes me aback a couple times where I'm like, wow, like she really doesn't give a fuck as the Harlock. And it's so different. And I just think that is such an amazing testament to her skill as an RPer and an actor to be able to just turn that on and off. That is such a polarizing kind of placement of who she really is. So a tip of the cap, as always, to all of my friends, and tonight especially for Fox for being just absolutely awesome. But you all are great. And I love each and every one of you with the exception of Lindy. And so I would just like everybody to now, Lindy knows I love her to the moon and back. But friends, I have to jump because my son is calling me from college. And it's a Friday night call from my son from college.
Okay.
So it's special.
It's gonna be fueled with Boone's Farm.
I thought that was your little brother, since
Yeah.
you didn't have any
We
facial
can-
hair.
We can relate to that then.
Exactly.
Friends, I love you all. See
You're
everybody
also
next
always
week.
fueled with Boone's Farm.
As always, chat, you are the absolute best. Jim had the comment of the night. Jim said, anybody with telekinesis, please raise my hand. That is a fantastic comment.
Really good.
That is a
good.
fantastic comment. I will see you all later. Love to you all.
And all of my dear folks in chat, we need a title for today's episode. Let's go next. Since we just lost Greg, I'm going to have Ari go last so Ari can type whatever Ari needs to type.
Get typing, Ari.
Lindy, who are you?
Oh,
Where
dang.
can we find you and give some love?
I was expecting to go next. I'm usually like last or second
Nope.
to last. I'll take it.
Nope. Now give it to you right now.
Oh man. Oh my. Trooper.
I try to mix it up.
Oh,
Right now?
Yeah,
all
right
in
now.
front of all these
in
people.
public,
I'm
in front
married.
of everyone. Just how it is.
All right. Well, in that case,
And
hi,
I'm here
I'm
watching.
Lindy. Love Lindy. This was so much fun. My love for tonight goes out to Greg's whole face, which I have never seen
Greg's entire face.
in the entirety
Greg's
of knowing
chin,
him.
everyone. Greg's chin
Yes,
in the chat.
Greg's whole face, the entirety of his face. That's my love for Greg, and for confusing Quint with that wink, because Quint's like, I don't know what that means. Like, I thought you hated me. What's going on here? Like, I loved that whole thing. For Ari, back and forth in the DMs, like, are we just gonna swap places? Yeah, we're just gonna swap places. That makes sense. All right, cool. You know, because
Too epic.
we had a whole 3 months of just traveling by
Yeah.
ourselves practically, because
Yeah.
you know, some people were locked in their rooms working on suits, and other people were on a different ship, and we had kids and stuff. But there's only so many things you can talk about. So flying and skills are some of them, since we had to makeshift some skills, and so yeah.
And other stuff, whatever y'all were doing on that ship, I don't know.
And whether we weren't really doing most of that during that time.
I know it's
so,
true.
Yeah, so mostly just talking and, you know, hanging out and getting to know each other's other skills and things. So I loved how that came to light in just a glance of we're swapping, and just immediately just jumping into it. I love the Harlock for being like, we're kind of like battle buddies. Like, we don't really need to talk, so have a pet. I loved that, like, the quiet bond that is slowly forming between the Harlock and Quint. And of course, Severance, being like, yes, I totally knew that I had that walker, and just every bit of him on the radio, and also guiding the Viridian and be like, can you put me down now? And then just, I feel like I should help, and then like just barely
really scraping some of the walls here.
Barely helping. Like, I was just hoping you'd carry more weight, essentially, and I just loved it. I loved it. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy. I GM and play in tabletop RPGs on my channel. We're just doing D&D right now, although I am working on some Cthulhu stuff, which is not ready yet. We're still casting and doing some things and figuring out shit, and some people here might hear from me about some of it. I don't know. I gotta figure out stuff. Gotta hear back from some people. But normally Monday night, Tuesday night, bi-weekly, Ghosts of Saltmarsh and Critical Roles Club and Netherdeep, and then here. And then next month, Trooper Night, we've got like a Streamiversary thing that we're working on that we should probably work on more, honestly.
By the way, the thing that I was doing today for Terica was also testing for our thing.
Oh, nice.
Because like our thing has like texting with each other.
Because our thing, yeah.
See, I got you.
We'll cover it. We'll talk after. We'll talk after. And that's me. Thank you all so much.
Let's see. I think next up we're gonna have to go with Rocket Fox, who was just name-checked for being so kind and sweet. The Rocket of the Foxes. Who are you? Where can we find you? And please give some love.
Yes, hello. It's still me, Rocket Fox. You can find me. Wow. Just, you know what? If you just Google Rocket Fox, I'll be there. In the most unexpected of places, but also the most expected because you will have been looking for me. As far as Love Tonight goes, I have to second about Terica being voiceless and still being very involved. Like, when we're on the ship and going down, I happen to glance over at Ari's box and see just like all this motion happening, and I don't know if recuperating includes not moving around too much, but I certainly didn't see any stillness going on, which I think speaks volumes. So I think that is amazing. I really, as far as Severance, I really liked the kind of difference we saw in we're back to a home place of his, and he's reacting a little bit differently than he might otherwise be, and really wanting to take that in a different level of seriousness. I think that's very cool to see, and I'm excited to see what happens once we're actually among the people, and to learn more about this mysterious title ship that we have. And then I also, as Lindy, for our budgeting bromance of fighting. But I love that just it was that easy for them, for
Yeah.
Terika and Quint to switch places, and just like immediately know what to do.
Yeah.
And I just on a broader sense, I think that says so much about where we've come versus where we were initially. Everyone kind of being like, I don't know where to sit, I don't know where to put my hands. Whereas that it is working much more of like a well-oiled machine
Yeah.
at this point. Also, this is my first time seeing Greg's chin, so that was cool.
I know, right?
I have to say I do appreciate how much of dick he's having Val be, because just ignoring things and pushing people away and all of this, and it's like I'm curious to see where this goes and if there's any kind of building bridges back or if he's just going to jettison himself out into space, and fully embrace the becoming a planet. And then of course Trooper, always giving us these scenarios. The pacing is always wonderful, the NPCs are always incredible, and chat, y'all rock. So that's my love.
So much love. So much love. You know, Myth, the man, the myth, the legend, the cord. Tell me, who
That's
are
what
you?
they say. That's the saying that people say. They say the
The
man,
man,
the
the
myth,
myth,
the
the list.
cord.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Who are
it's
you?
me.
Where can we find you? And give some love.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mythematic, or Cord. I am a blacksmith. I'm also an artist in many ways. I write, I tell stories, I act, I stream, I bartend. I do a lot of stuff. And I'm a jack of all trades. And if you want to see any of them, join my Discord or don't. I don't know. How do you get to my Discord? I don't even remember what it's called. I think it's called discord.gg the deep. I don't really remember anymore. Anyway, join my community or not. I don't care. I'll be here every Friday. I am I don't know what I am anymore. Anyway, I'm playing. My brain stopped working in the middle of that. This is an outro, Cord. Getting back onto it. I'm playing Severance. No, that's an intro. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. Had a great had a great night tonight. This was, and like Lindy said, the pacing was really cool. About like the whole episode. I didn't realize because I left early last week. And I didn't realize I had a giant crystal.
You do. It was a
That's pretty
present.
sweet. That's a very nice present. And so that was a cool little thing to be like, oh, I have this. So super cool to like install that in the Gambler, whatever that may mean, and then utilize that, whatever that may mean. Severance has really come from a place of nothing, which is cool. He sort of just like has this like mask on, but now he doesn't need. He could take a mask off and still hold the same image underneath. Is that what that makes any sense?
Yeah.
Because like before, he had all these like empty memories, but those have come back. He now has titles. He has family, like actual biological family that he didn't have before, and now he's like potentially gonna probably get at least a crystal of psionic power, but also maybe any psionic power at all besides
My friend.
the little bit he has. So it's kind of cool to see that like the story is gifting him these like level ups from starting at zero, which
And
I
having
really
a lot of
enjoy.
loss. A lot of loss.
Yeah, and, like which is super cool. Like I like when it comes to like what I really love about the Traveler system, and I've said it before in several intros and outros, is how much the character generation system just sort of screws you over if you ever had an idea about a character. And I love it because it sort of forces the player to go, okay, what do I do with this? And it's like a lot of artists, like you maybe make happy accidents, right? You don't necessarily go, well, okay, well, I was making a beautiful tree or landscape, but I made a giant line down the center of it, and now it's the worst thing ever. You can go, you know what? That's actually going to be a tree in the foreground, you know, and like you learn to work with it. And I feel like, and if you're wondering why I just sank, my heel hit the chair lever and the piston went down. Hold on, let me just gonna come back. All right. The but hold on. My
The way your
light just
character
turned blue.
you
Hold on,
create a
the
character.
light turns blue when someone joins my channel. Okay, anyway,
Oh.
someone's joining my channel. Thank you so much for that. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so thanks. It's like what? So, but yeah, the character is just, it's been a lot of fun watching and seeing things sort of just develop for him. And it gives me a lot of, it makes me just happy to play this game. I'm really long-winded about this because the character and the way that it starts at 0, where you start with like this 0 luck. We had Val, who was like super lucky and was able to just like cruise through character creation, sort of. But Severance didn't. And I thought it was kind of cool to still have the idea of being like, I can be something greater.
Yeah.
And then stat-wise, wasn't.
Yeah.
And like historically wasn't. So it's kind of cool that like now through the narrative and through the story, we get to see sort of those things get gifted to him. Anyway, that's me. I love to talk nerdy shit and role play and character-driven stuff and blah, 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 and role play theory. So if you like that shit, join me on the internet, wherever. You just Google Mythomatic, and you'll find me. But my love tonight goes out to all of you, obviously. But Rocket, your the whole scene where you had the leadership, but specifically when we were joking about the cape, just being like, oh, I stand up and I produce a cape, and then everybody claps and a slow clap, and everyone loves it. It's just like those little like those snippets I love because it's just fun to, at least for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've all noticed this, but I like to quip out of game, like rip us out of the game for a joke, and then thrust us back in, which is always a sort of fun. So I just thank you for joining me on that and making that little joke with me. Lindy, your whole scene with Greg, the whole choice of you jumping in the seat and taking this flight was really cool and powerful because it got to show that like Quint's like, hey, this is my ship, I know what I'm doing, and also having that same sort of trust with Ari, Terika, where they can just sort of go, I have to I got this, thank you. And it was just super cool to see that happen and to see Terika trust someone else with the controls of a ship, which we usually don't see, but I think Terika is more possessive and territorial about the gambler, and that and the ancient historical ship that is versus whatever this ship may be. So that was just super cool, Indy, and like just well done for that, and just every like Lindy, I love the fact that you have joined our crew. This is so much fun every week that you're able to join and play with us, and it's just, and I don't think I've said it enough, but just thank you for being here and playing with us because it's always so much fun hanging out and chatting with you and getting to see you every week. Ari, like everyone else has said, you being able to RP through text is super cool, and still, you're texting, like you're typing, and then you're still acting it out. Which is super cool. So you're still giving us a visual, and for those of us who are listening, I know that this episode was a little bit harder when it came to Ari and Terika and the dialogue from Terika. But that being said, the way that was able to work was just the kindness, which goes into my love for Trooper, the kindness of, and like the what's the word? The mindfulness, kind heart, and the just how meaningful it is for you to take time to figure out how to get the text onto the screen so Ari can still be involved even though Ari has lost their voice. So it was just really cool to see that, to have them included, because even in the beginning in the green room I was like making jokes. I already say something, but I was like, why isn't? How are you gonna role play tonight? And then Ari would be like, well, I don't have a voice, and we're like, oh, okay. What does that mean? And then Trooper finally dropped the bomb. Hey, we've got this technology that I spent a good while figuring out, but Ari's still going to be able to play with us. So just awesome. just really cool to see and have that to be a part of this, the ingenuity that that goes into it, and just the thoughtfulness of and the caring and the kindness that goes into thinking of someone in to include them in the inclusivity of that. So thank you, Trooper, for holding that space for us, and especially for Ari and letting Tarika be with us tonight. And Greg, your amazing scene with you being Iron Man was super dope. That I mean, like, there are so many other things that is always wonderful to see, like your chin. But when it comes
Right?
to role playing and everything like that, it's always such a wonderful. It's always such a wonder to watch you and to learn alongside you, like to learn and to be inspired by your role playing, and to then learn through osmosis by watching you play and interact with us and in this story. So, but overall, that super dope scene with the mirrored visor. We saw that a couple of times tonight, even with the mirrored visor coming down and winking at Quint, and then the same with the mirrored visor with Terika's face, and then winking at Terika. Just super awesome. And just those visuals are cinematic, and those are things that we would pay to watch and see, and we get to see it every week here in the beautiful scope of Greg's imagination every time he gets to roleplay with us. So anyway, and that doesn't go just for Greg; that's for all of us and for all of you, because it is so great to be here every week and get to play. I loved tonight. I loved the action that happened tonight. Like I said, I didn't know that. I know I've been talking for like 20 minutes. I know that we had that crazy crystal. Didn't know that existed until today, and I was like, wait a minute. But I also loved the fact that today's episode was us running from something. I don't know why, but those like chase scenarios, whether it is a being or a boss or
Storm.
a weather pattern, a storm, whether like it's always something that's larger than you cosmically, and scale is always where I am like, okay, this is cool. So it's just being able to just imagine this, like not just a storm, but this not just a radioactive storm, but this electromagnetic radioactive storm that just sort of has generated because of the radioactive heat that just happens here.
Yeah.
Is
And
just
it
super
might be
cool.
foreshadowing for later. That's all.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. No, there's no foreshadowing in this game. It's all just chance. But anyway, that's me. I love you all. Thanks for hanging this week and hanging out with me, and hanging out with us. You're all wonderful. I love you all. Thank you. That's it.
That leads us to, um, gosh,
I spoke some. Did I forget anybody? I didn't forget anybody, right?
no.
Everyone got
I
their
mean,
love.
I don't know if Ari wants to say anything. I mean, because I kind of got the sense that Ari doesn't actually care about us at all and doesn't really just doesn't want to
100%.
have anything to do with us. I suppose. I mean, I suppose
100%.
that's it then. I mean, say something.
I was also getting that.
No, didn't. So okay, if you care about us, just say one thing. No, apparently you don't. It's too bad.
Ooh,
So,
yikes.
so how about Ari? Last but not least, who are you? Where can we find you? And then also give some love. And while you type, I'm going to just add these things to the overlay because I can do that. Ari
Joke's on you.
says,
Ari's already wrote an essay.
I know, just
and is copying pasting right from the
so much
drive right
love.
now.
The crew rolled the punches so well. Trooper's ability to create this on the fly was absolutely amazing. Thank you for dealing with my lack of voice tonight and supporting me in chat with everything going on. You managed it all so well. And by the way, everybody was being so kind and supportive in chat. You didn't, so everything that's happening in chat, you're not seeing everything that's happening in chat. You're only seeing the things that are Tarika's voice or lack thereof. But everything else is happening in chat, and the players are being very supportive of each other in chat. And chat, let me make sure I got the right one there, right? And chat. Good. I adore you all. You give such gorgeous gifts all the time. This was very needed after a long and rough week. Thank you. Moments that I loved. The Harlock with the tough love talk to Tarika about not sacrificing yourself. Yeah, I think that's going to be really important. I think that's going to be really important.
Fabulous.
Coming up important later. Cord with describing the lucky piloting role so beautifully. I would add the describing the storm at the beginning, but that's I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Val, with the moments he had with the Vespexers and the connection he just built. When Val's at his best, you know, he's the sweet farm boy. Lindy, and that lovely way you add color into every scene that Quint is in, plus that lovely offer to swap piloting. Yeah, that was their things, right?
I
will say
got
that.
Smallcraft. I'm much better with that than the Gambler.
You all compliment each other very well, is all I'm saying.
Don't compliment me. Compliment my character sheet.
And
Well,
Trooper,
it wasn't me. It was my skill.
for the way you build worlds and made that storm so gorgeously difficult, but not impossible. Well, it would have been impossible if you didn't work together. I mean, you might be able to do it. It was like a 14 is what you needed, but you know, teamwork.
Would have been rough with
It
the
would've been
negatives
rough.
and the bane.
Because it was, you know, this is a big bad thing. This is kind of an epic storm to deal with. Unfortunately, Drinax has that quite often, which is why it's having a hard time right now. But we can find Ari online here Friday nights, plus live in Seattle at Theater Sports, and a TBA show in December, which is named TBA, which stands for
T-Boz.
Toffee.
Traitors, bullies, and arsonists.
Yes,
That's
it's yep. It's a show called Traitors,
Spoilers,
Bullies.
Lindy.
Yeah, spoilers. Oh well.
Wow.
And
It's
I
an
love
improv
the
show
hell.
about your favorite friends from high school.
I love the hell out of all of you, says Ari. So before I can do my outro, I need to just check to see if we have any tips or bits and read out those messages from you all. I believe, let us see, we do. We had 100 bits from Stormbender, who, happy birthday to Stormbender's 18-year-old.
Happy birthday!
I know, right?
Little Bender?
Yes. Oh, that was
Squall Bender? What is
Wrong.
Storm Bender? What do you call a little storm?
Stormbender. Wrong,
Oh, yeah.
wrong one. 500 bits from Hawkeye, who says, "Get out your Starbeam chocolate milk." Oh, wait, hold on.
Squall Bender, yeah.
Get out your Starbeam chocolate milk and your Tablasto sauce, everyone. The Tagonists have returned. Everything is in flux, and we're all out of flux capacitors. Is there a 2.62 gigawatt star nearby? Find out next week.
That was from Hawkeye. Thank you, Hawkeye. Then we got some new follows. Thank you, new followers. Thank you, gift subs, and also hand claps. Thank you, Raiders. Then we got 327 bits from Stormbender, who says, "Yet another kick-ass episode that leaves one wanting for more. Thank you, Most Trooper. But the film is nothing without the cast," and I believe that 100% wholeheartedly. And then our sponsor and note taker, Willen TW, says, with 100 bits, says, "Thanks all. It's been intense in spite of the tech issues. That felt like I was on the ship with you. I'm so glad you felt that way." And so, to me, I'm troopersjp. I wanted to say thank you all for waiting for the delay and that tech issue that happened right in the middle when OBS crashed 3 times in a row. But we got it going.
No stress.
We got it
Not
going.
stressful at all.
And I don't think I'd be able to do that without this cast being amazing, and also without you in the chat, all of you battle buddies hanging out with us. So I'll do my love first and then go backwards. I want to give my love to Rocket. Not just Rocket, but Rocket was the one who really spearheaded this and made it happen. Rocket started reading what Ari was writing in chat and incorporating it into the thing so that I was not the only one having to do it, that you all could do it together in the most naturalist way. I thought that it was beautiful how you all were there for them and for each other, the ways in which you all looked to see what, because you were doing that, that means that I could just go and make sure it was all in chat without having to double duty. And so I wanted to say thank you for the kindness and the care and the paying attention to make sure that Ari got to be here with us just by reading out what they were writing and also, Rocket, you just have a great voice and you have you're such a good performer. So you did it so well. And everybody else who sort of chipped in, thank you. The Harlock, you didn't say it, but I thought you might have. I remember when, I say this like I know you all in real life. I remember when the Harlock and Severance were in the cabin and Severance was having all those really terrible headaches because he was like, he had this whole other brain inside and he was like trying to deal with that. And the Harlock was able to calm him down, was able to sort of go in and calm him down. And so this is the ways in which there's this beautiful cyclical consistency with the Harlock coming back, right? Coming back. And also, one of the things that I think is sort of the best thing about you, Rocket, but also the entire cast, is how failures are successes, right? You could not get through his telepathic shield. And you're like, okay, that means he's on this planet, he's alive, and he has enough.
And he's in a bad mood.
And he's in a bad mood. And then
he's fine because he's in a bad mood, which is normal.
Yeah.
But then you let Tarika know, right? There's just the ways in which, because like, here's the thing, sometimes you fail, but that failure might give you, if you pay attention, more information than if you'd succeeded. And I love the way that you do that. You do that so well and so consistently, and it is one of my joys that I always know that you will do something special with it.
I have to say, this gang is amazing at turning quote-unquote failures into plot points.
Yes.
And things to build off of.
Yeah, and because that's life, right? Lindy, I want to give you love. I mean, there's so many things, but I want to give you love for, I mean, first off, everybody said just, so we're not in a studio together, and we're also sitting down in chairs, unless somebody has a standing desk. I'm not the boss of you, I don't know.
Greg, looking at you, Greg.
It's Greg.
Yeah, it's
Greg. And sometimes Ari.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But everybody says that if you're not like, in the studio, it's not as good. It's like, no. If you are locked in with each other, the way that this crew is locked in with each other, then you can have the look and then swap spaces in that way that is so beautiful. And you couldn't have it any other way in an improvised space in that way. And I loved it. I loved seeing that. And what was really beautiful to me, and this is kind of like a both of you together, is that there are things we know about Quint. We know that Quint murders people. Rock on. But
you do you.
You do you. But what we don't know, but we do know now, is that Quint is a very good small craft pilot. And small craft are things like fighter jets, like X-Wings, right? Like Quint an X-Wing pilot. And X-Wing pilots don't have a long life expectancy because it is real dangerous to be a little X-Wing pilot against these
I was in
big,
the Navy.
Yeah.
I learned small craft and gunner. What do you think I did?
Little X-Wing pilot, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to see that, I thought was beautiful. To see like, actually Quint also does this. Quint is this like X-Wing pilot. And then to have that moment where Tarika, who, started off as a mechanic, as an engineer, as like fixing things, became this great pilot, but got to go, when the chips went down, was able to go back and like go back to that root of theirs where they fix things, was able to get that back going. But with Quint, when you're like, I've been a Viridian detector and I sense home. I was like, yes, you do. Absolutely. That is exactly what you sense. And that was beautiful. So, Cord, I have to say, the way you describe the storm, you do this thing that actually sometimes Ari does as well, but you do this so well, where you've got your technobabble down, but you just describe these things in character that are like the way you do world building in the most casual way is so lovely. It makes me so happy as a GM that I'm like, these are the best players, right? Because I want us all to do that together, and I love it. I love how you describe the eye of the storm, and you're like, we could go now, but we should maybe not. Okay, we are. Okay, well, let's go. But I especially love to see people in different contexts, right? In this context here on the surface, this is Severance's home, right? And to go back to what you did last week, and you talked about people dying of asphyxiation, right? When their suits clog up, or radiation poisoning. These ways of talking about what it's like to be a Vespexer when you live on this planet surface where you can't even ever take your helmet off except for that one moment by the tree. It was beautiful. It's really powerful, really important. And for me, I always think about two things, right? How when you first crash landed on Marduk, you're like, there's a crate full of survival supplies. We're going to keep it. We're going to take it with us. People are like, why would you do that? Like, no, we got to have it. And that kind of like,
Need it.
we need it. And when Severance is like, carry me, like, I'll just like guide this. There's a way that makes it like, oh, he must be so privileged. He must have never worked a day in his life. But actually, that is not the case. He
Like he knows when he can rest.
Yeah. And he's always on the edge of like death, right? So that beautiful way in which we get to see this true Severance, right? That other people would never get to see up on the surface or out somewhere else. And I love that you're like, wait, I have this Britain. Like, yes, you do. It's a present from the planet who was very appreciative of you keeping them alive and feeding them for so long. And Greg, I have a lot of questions. That's what I do as a GM. I just have questions like, what's going to happen, right? I want to know. And I have a lot of questions about how Val is going to deal with like their trauma, and also how they're growing and how they're changing, and just the way in which Val interacts with Sue as June differently than Sue as Ruby is beautiful. Val talks to Sue as June more like an actual person. And there is something beautiful about just those moments. It was so sweet. It was just, and we got to see that Val that we've seen a couple of times before, but this one was just so honest, so respectful. There's always been something very respectful about Val, and to see that Val again was so lovely. And Ari, you know, I was kind of sad that you just refused to talk to us. I was like, wow, okay, I guess you're just like, you must be mad at us and you're just like freezing us out. I guess that's what it is. And since you're not denying it, it's clearly true.
So true. They told me when you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, it's probably what they said.
Yeah, they were like, don't you even tell Trooper about this. Because I just can't stand talking to him at all. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm going to quit the show.
That's it.
I'm out of here. Fuck that guy. There we go.
I want
my translation services.
I love it. I want to give great love to Ari for being here tonight, because I don't know if you know this, but Ari lost their voice, cannot speak at all. And I said, like, Ari's like, what can I do? I don't want to like leave you all hanging. And I was like, wait, I can hang out and chat, is what they said. They're like, I'll just hang out and chat. That would be okay. I was like, I'm going to find a way to make this work. Don't worry about it. And I said, could you give me one thing? Could you just show up on screen in the beginning? If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you could, just so that like, if you teleport out or you go into mind space, at least we can do like a visual transition so that people can like visually see that you've sort of gone away. And you stayed the whole entire time on screen, and you gave us so much energy. You were so present. They always say that acting is reacting, and if that is true, then you are a master of acting in every single way. And there is so generous, so kind, so active, so present. You're the kind of person that adds even when you cannot speak. So it was such great energy, and it was such a gift to have you here, even though, you cannot speak at all. And throughout all of that, we still heard the voice of Tarika loud and clear the entire time. And that was very impressive. So thank you for that. And we got a last bit of bits from Stormbender, who says, to Ari, get well soon, with 42 bits. 42 being the meaning of life. And I am Trooper SJP. I have been the GM for this madness. Thank you, chat, for being here. And you all are wonderful. And I'm sorry about being late. I wanted to get all the tech set up, and I had to set up 2 different things, and it all went wild, but we fixed it. And I think it'll be great going forward. And it'll especially be used in Lindy and I's special secret thing that's be coming up. We'll be using that technology, I think, quite extensively.
Our streamiversary. You don't even know what happens then, but it's our streamiversary.
It's our streamiversary. And you can find me. What is today? Today is Friday, yes.
Friday.
So I'm only talking about RPGs. That's all I talk about when I do outros for RPGs. I only talk about RPGs. But you can find me next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on Wandering DM's channel for some Warhammer 40k. It'll be a short shot, like 6 or so sessions, and we've made our characters. We are in the office, you know, like the office, like that TV show. We're 40k, but we're the office, and we are. Oh yes, Monday. Thank you. You're right. Let me rewind. Monday. So actually, it actually starts on Sunday. Prax is doing like a massive fundraiser for the Fisher House for Veterans Day, because it's Veterans Day on Monday, which is starting on Sunday and is carrying away all the way through over to Monday. So it's going to be like a full on excitement. And I'm going to be there for the 1 o'clock show on Monday. It's going to be some D&D, and it's going to be some like Prax does high concept. Prax is doing like 18,000 different groups, all in the same universe over 2 days, all interacting in interesting ways. And I cannot wait to find out how that's going to work. But I think, you know, that's going to be cool. So come and join Prax Sunday and also Monday for this big charity stream. And, you know, hang out, do the thing. So you can see me at 1 o'clock. Tuesday at 30 p.m. will be 40K. We're doing the office. We're admin. And I am a person who is very excited about how great the Emperor and the whole world is. And like, I think it's just a little bit of power of friendship. The 40K universe will be just happy, and I'm sure it'll all work out. And then what is it? Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. on Table Story, it will be the return of Tidal Blades. This will be like, again, a 6-shot about something like this, like a really beautiful, wonderful, wholesome Friendship is Magic game, GM'd by Pumpkinberry, which please come back and watch it. It is something beautiful to behold. And I play a little soft boy, little fish boy, who, like, you know, little nerdy fish boy. And we're going to go and do something lovely. And then you'll find us back here on Friday at 7 p.m. for The Gamblers, where they're going to sort of see Severance's home. And, well, and then the Floating Palace awaits, and also legal troubles.
Trial.
A trial. Maybe we'll get
Burn
one.
the witch.
Yeah.
Burn the witch.
Behead the guy.
Behead the guy.
guy. Publicly fake Val's death.
We'll find out. So, my friends, thank you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, everybody. If you need to, like, sleep extra or get extra food, listen to music, do whatever it is that will give yourself kindness in this moment, and then be kind to others. And we will see you all later. You can catch me at troopersjp on Bluesky, and Academic Foxhole on Patreon, at the Fourth Wall for our merch, Discord, come and find us there, and troopersjp on YouTube. So thank you, everybody. Join us on the Discord. We're cool. And catch you on the flip side. Bye. Oh, it's not working. It's the thing. Let me, well, just know it's fine. Wait, I know why. Here.